end of the day, it's wearing on me a little bit.
I'm
You know,
sure.
I did get out there and set up at least one speaker.
Yeah, she said, she said that you sent the equipment, but then she was like, "Who's gonna take it home? I
No,
don't know how." And I said, "Well, I'm sure Russ has thought about that."
I did. I'd already told him just leave it there. I will get it in the morning. And Chris Moorhead, the guy I work with,
Yeah.
you know, he did all the work. I just went along.
Yeah, she said you told them what to do.
Pretty much. I gave some instructions on how to turn it all on.
It all worked out. Everybody heard everyone. So.
Okay, good. That works out a lot. And I'd like to have been there, but
yeah.
It has been, you know, gosh, it's a week ago tomorrow.
Yeah.
That I had this pacemaker put in.
Yeah.
And they told me it would be 2 weeks on a sling and all that stuff. I don't know if you know this, but you don't see a sling on me.
No, I don't.
I follow some advice. I do. I do know that if I raise my head above my arm or try to lift things heavy with my left arm, there is a potential of causing problems with pulling wires out,
right.
You know, dislodging. And so I don't do that, but I don't need a sling to remind me. There's a tug, I mean, from the incisions and everything.
Oh, okay.
There's a tug that reminds me. Nothing major, not a lot of pain.
Oh, that's good.
Except I was getting, I felt like a shortness of breath. I'm not short of breath, I don't think. I talked to somebody today about it. I mean, I talked to my doctor, and he said, "Don't worry about it." You know, and I also felt like the bump where the pacemaker is pushing out, like my body's trying to push it out. That's nothing. Don't worry about it.
You probably use a lot more breath than most people anyway, because you're talking.
I do talk a lot. Yeah, so some people.
Not an insult. It's just you're on the radio for 3 hours at a time.
I haven't been I've been to the gym at all this week, and I thought I'd be going in just to.
Well, we talked about that last week. You were going to maintain the habit.
The habit, but I haven't because I know I shouldn't be driving. I'm not supposed to drive for a week or two. But you saw my car out.
Yeah.
You know, it's not my normal Suzuki because it's a stick shift.
Oh yeah, that would be good.
Yeah, that's too much judo. Too much stuff going on in there. But yeah, it's a comfortable little truck that has an automatic. By the way, let's take a phone call. You're on the way on the air.
Good morning, Russ.
Welcome.
The top's a little weird. Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you just fine, sir.
Excellent. So I thought I'd do a Second Amendment update because I didn't do it yesterday. And it's an interesting thing because we have the Supreme Court ruling on the Trump tariff.
Right.
But there's kind of a golden center to this thing for Second Amendment advocates in that they very carefully said in that ruling that taxation is a separate power from regulation. And they said it 2 or 3 times. And they even quoted a former ruling about the National Firearms Act in it. So it's clear that they mean that taxation is separate from regulation.
Right.
The reason that's important for Second Amendment advocates is that they're in the big, beautiful bill, they removed the tax on short-barreled rifles, short-barreled shotguns, and silencers or suppressors. It was a $200 tax, and now there is no tax. It's zero. So those several organizations are suing the government and saying, well, there's no tax. There's no power to regulate it anymore because it was all under the taxing authority. So do away with this requirement for registration, for fingerprints, for passport photos, for submitting all this stuff. Well, now that the Supreme Court in this very important ruling has said taxation is separate from regulation, it appears to me there's a very strong case citing that decision to uphold what the Second Amendment people are saying. You should just remove all these requirements for short-barreled rifles, shotguns.
What you're saying is the regulation will most likely stand because it's not the same.
No, it won't.
It won't.
Because the bill was always predicated on the taxation power.
So it was a regulation based on the tax, not on...
Yeah, the whole idea of the regulations was to, at least this was the theory, was to ensure that they collected the tax.
Oh, okay. So you're thinking that might be beneficial to get rid of some of the regulation because it was part of a tax.
right.
But this,
So what they're saying is that since there isn't, it was all based on it being a tax, and there isn't any tax anymore, you have no authority to impose this regulation.
I'll be darned. I wonder how that's going to go.
But and I didn't come up with this myself. Actually, as a prominent
Steal it.
Supreme Court attorney and scholar who's written a lot of articles about this, Mark Smith, and he regularly puts out YouTube channels, and he's highly regarded. And let's see, I think he has won 2 years in a row now called the voice of Second Amendment. It's an organization that gives out this award, and he's won it 2 years in a row. So he's an authority who's well thought of.
Okay.
And I think he's got a good point.
I'm interested in that. I mean, and something we didn't talk about yesterday was the tariffs. The Supreme Court, and I usually would have talked to you about that. I guess so much going on with the State of the Union. But the Supreme Court, recently, 6-3 decision said that Trump cannot do tariffs as he was doing them under those presidential.
Yeah, right. It said that he didn't have the authority to do it under the particular legislation that he had cited.
Right.
Which is IEEE something or another. I'm probably mangling it, but
so that brings up a whole possibility of a can of worms. Maybe not, but if so if they're saying that what you did was not legal, you have to undo it. I mean, well, okay, you stop it. That's the first one.
I don't think they said he has to undo it.
Okay.
They just said it wasn't legal. And so what?
So how do we
do it anymore?
So how do we go forward?
What I'm saying is that there's at least 2 other authorities, statutory authorities I have that say I can do it, and I'm going to use those. That's what I.
So there'll be a continuation. Now nobody's taken the tariffs down, to my knowledge, and said.
And they're under a different authority, which means they might have to be implemented slightly differently, or but he is immediately. They said, "Well, okay, we're going to impose tariffs under this authority, not that authority." That's what I understand.
And now there's a time limit,
At like 150 days.
Yeah,
150 days, which then it would have to go to Congress to say, "Let's make them permanent."
Right.
I don't know enough about that to comment on.
Well, I'm going to need you to read. Because I'm not sure I understood it all. What ramifications are now, and now you've got senators like Ruben Gallego writing letters to the president demanding all the money be given back to the small businesses that suffered under your onerous taxes and tariffs and stuff.
Yeah,
which is ridiculous.
I don't think it's going to happen.
All right.
It's they can posture with this all they want. I don't know how it's going to turn out in the court. We'll see. I think. I think that if Trump if the Trumpian Republican Party can gain in the midterms, then maybe Congress will pass laws on the tariffs.
But even if Gallego, and I would ask him to do the math on this thing. Okay, there's like $100 billion in tariffs. Well, he's saying that the small businesses that have had bought the merchandise, paid the price, and we as citizens have paid the price. How do you give all that money back, and how do you know what it is? And that's 10% on wholesale, not 10% on retail. Right. And then most companies, from what I've read, have absorbed it and not passed it on. Right. So it's not like every company has said, "I'm jacking up prices because of tariffs." It hasn't happened.
And Trump has already talked about different ways that he envisioned of giving it back to the people. The program with giving $1,000.
This is about a power play. I mean, like the Democrats want to come up and say, "I'm going to be the hero and give it back to you." Well, I don't know that anything's been taken from them.
Well, they get that program with the $1,000 education fund or something for every kid.
No, I know about that, but I'm saying
that coming out of the tariff money.
Well,
I thought that was coming out of
fungible, so I don't know how you say this comes from tariffs and this comes from income tax.
Right.
It's that's spouted as saying like, well, we have extra money because of the tariffs, we're going to give it away or something.
Right.
But I don't know how much of that is actually actually true. And I don't know how Gallego would put a pencil to it
Right.
and say, this small business lost $1,000. This small business lost this because they pass it on to the end user.
Yeah.
Does that mean that the person that bought the widget from the small business the small businessman has to give him back his $10?
Right.
I mean, that would be ridiculous.
Yeah. It would have to be something where just everybody in this particular class.
And you have to get a hold of the people that got the tariffs charged against them and say, did you absorb it or did you pass it on?
Right.
Yeah, I have seen something I will say that's kind of similar to maybe a little bit of a precedent is that when you render a law, when you say a law is unconstitutional, like it's illegal for or it's not constitutional to take away somebody's Second Amendment rights because they were not convicted of a violent felony.
Yeah.
All of those, you don't reimburse them for the value they lost in the meantime.
Right.
Sure.
So because it was done in quote good faith.
Good faith.
Yeah.
I like that analogy, and thanks. I'll steal that from you from this point forward. But Gallego, I think, is just trying to be a hero to this, to everybody. So I'm going to try to get you some money.
Political advantage.
It is. And he's the same guy that sat on his butt when Trump was talking about all the giveaways that he's been doing for like no tax on tips, tax to the elderly. And Gallego sat on his butt and wouldn't applaud. He hated it.
Oh, yeah.
And now he says, well, I want to take some of this and give it back because it would be a political advantage to him or his party.
I guarantee that, well, I don't know. Maybe, could you tell if Gallego sat or stood up when Trump said all those who think that the first priority of the United States should be the American citizen, not the illegal alien?
I'm tremendously sure. The cameras were on him at times. I knew where he was sitting, so I specifically looked for him and Kelly. Yeah, and Kelly looked like someone beat up his dog, and he
well, there's video of this. I can see campaign ads with video and a little red circle around them saying they did not stand.
They didn't approve. Something they did stand for, which surprised me, and I think surprised Trump, is when he made some mention like, well, the Democrats stand for more taxes, and they stood up and clapped.
Yeah.
Did you catch that? I didn't catch it. I guess I saw it at the time and didn't think much about it, but then I saw it in a commentary afterwards, like, well, that was stupid.
Well, sometimes I'm surprised at the stupidity or what the left shows. I mean, you'd think if they were Machiavellian, they would at least wouldn't show it in public.
Yeah.
I mean, they could have stood up and said, yeah, we're for American first, and then voted the other way and say, well, you just don't understand what being American first means. But they didn't do that. They refused to stand.
Yeah. And I didn't see the State of the Union, but I saw a clip of Trump saying, really, you're not going to stand for that? No. That sounds like that moment.
Yeah, Trump did a masterful job. And the more I've gone back and looked at replays and read other commentary and people pointing out, from a historical standpoint and stuff, it was a masterful class in doing State of the Union speech. I mean, best speech he's done, really. And I guess I didn't appreciate the extent of the brilliance of it until you start picking it all apart.
Well, and part of this is his cabinet. He surrounded himself with brilliant people.
Yeah.
And those brilliant people are not the ones during his first term who said, "Oh, you can't do that. You can't do that because it's not proper," or whatever. Instead, these people are saying, "Here's what we can do to win.
Yeah.
Here's what we can do to make America great again."
I think winning's important, but I think the rationale behind it is the most important. And I think the rationale behind Trump winning is winning for the American people, winning for lifestyle 100%. And all that. And I think the winning for Democrats is the winning for their personal power.
Yeah.
Am I wrong? I mean, I know I'm jaded and I'm.
Well, I tend to agree with you, especially the politicians. I mean, it's hard to see it any other way when they don't want to support voter ID.
Correct. And they
And
say that that's a way of
35% or something like that of their constituents of Democrats say they support it, but they won't support it.
They say it's a ruse to let the Republicans cheat to win elections because that's the only way they can win elections. In other words, they're just projecting.
Well, I agree. It doesn't make it,
Doesn't make any sense.
Republicans cheat. I'm not sure if that's what you meant, but
yeah, that's what the Dems are saying. Some of them, I've read some commentaries.
How does require? Of course, an ordinary person will say, "Well, how does requiring ID facilitate cheating?"
Here's the way they justify it. The way they justify it is saying, "Well, that will make it so that the poor, the females that got married, and minorities can't vote, and that's cheating because you're keeping their voices quiet, and they won't be able to vote," which is so condescending and stupid. I don't know anybody doesn't have a real grasp on having an ID in this country.
Right.
See, it's not like married women haven't figured out how to get ID.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I just got married 19 months ago, and Helen had to go through that, and she's had a history where, God, where is my birth certificate type stuff, that kind of stuff, and but it's just a matter of going to the courthouse and saying, "Hey, we got this problem." She says, "Well, hold on, fill out this form, fill out that, fill out that," and we walked out of there with it all done.
Right.
No big deal.
It's not like there isn't all kinds of organization and procedures in place to do it because it's a common thing.
Very common. And the courthouse was a tremendous help, just going down there, because she's lived in different places. She was born here, but, not having some of the documents of divorces, not having some documents of other things. And the courthouse says, "No, we can get that. And we just filled out the forms.
Yep.
They gave us the forms, tell us where to sign. They were very helpful. And that's what they do for a living.
As you mentioned, it's really kind of condescending to say, "Well, they can't do that. It's too hard."
Man, I don't know if a minority's smart enough to go to the courthouse and ask, which is condescending and stupid. I say that in jest, but that's what the Dems are saying. I mean, I think it's so racist and demeaning.
And not only that, if it does turn out to be some major barrier, both parties are going to develop means of assisting people to overcome that.
I told that to Dean yesterday on there. I said, I think the Republicans should do it right now.
Yeah.
And put out an organization or help put an internal organization to help anybody and everybody get an ID that needs one. Doesn't matter if you're Democrat or Republican, just help them.
Right.
If they're really stumbling, they can't get an ID, we're your fixers.
And we already do that.
I know, but let's make it public. Let's make it a separate phone. I don't care.
Well, in most of the bills I've heard about requiring ID, that sort of thing is included in the bill.
Correct.
If you don't have enough money to get an ID, we'll pay for it for
you.
Right.
Correct. But we need to step forward and do it as an office thing, just so we could tell everybody we fixed it.
Right.
Which we don't have to. We just go to the courthouse. It's pretty simple.
Anyway,
we don't need a rocket scientist to run it. The courthouse already does that.
Right.
Yeah.
So have a good show.
Thank you, buddy. You take care, man. Bye-bye. Yeah, I think that whole ID thing it got so. And the Democrats change their tune constantly, Chris. You notice? First off, it was minorities would be disadvantaged.
Right.
Well, then people are pointing out, well, why are you trashing minorities and saying they're not smart enough to get an ID?
Right.
And then it kind of changed where it's now. Well, it's women because they got remarried and who can find a birth certificate.
And you got women preaching that. And I'm like, don't you have an ID right now?
Yeah, they do in their purse. Go around and talk to a homeless guy. They all have IDs.
Right.
Because they got to buy beer. All the homeless guys have ID, And the TSA right now, legally to fly on a plane, you're supposed to need a real ID.
A real ID.
And you know why the real ID exists, in my opinion? The real ID exists because there's so many rogue states that went out there and started giving driver's license to everybody.
Yeah. So
you have to start differentiating, like, is it really an ID? Or is it just something that these rogue states have started giving out, thinking that everybody should have one, and everyone should be a citizen, even if you're not a citizen.
Right. Or they're just lackadaisical about it. But one way or the other,
it was intentional. It wasn't. It was intentional because so many illegals. And the theory was, if you have that piece of paper in your hand, you're a better driver.
And that's
You're
always
safer.
been weird to me.
And then we find out that they were putting that piece of paper or that driver's license, that check in their hands, driving commercial trucks. They don't speak the language. They can't pass the test. They were just getting the paper,
And
and they're killing people on the streets.
the language isn't necessarily the problem. It's, were they qualified to be able to drive a big rig
I think
down
both
the
are
road?
necessary.
I don't know about that
I do.
because there's the language
You're going to have to
barrier.
interact with people on the street. It's not a matter of
Not
just
while
being.
you're driving.
Yeah, you will. I
What
mean,
do
there's going to be accidents. There's
Yeah.
going to be lost times. At times you're going to be pulled over and asked to, for identification of what your load is. Which commercial drivers, they get asked that all the
Right.
time. And if you can't speak the language, that's a
Well,
struggle. Now, I know you can use
it's a
this or that
delay,
or whatever,
but yeah.
but they can't read the
But
signs.
the driving ability is my concern. Yeah.
Well,
And
it's an additional
I
concern.
drove around in Europe without speaking the language, and they
But-
have a
yeah, but-
really complicated sign
But you're an
system.
American. But I drove around in Ireland,
Yeah.
and they trusted me. And I don't even speak Irish.
Don't they speak English?
They
there?
do. There's a Celtic though
Yeah.
that's available, but I don't think much. I don't think much
That
anybody
was on the
speaks that.
signs. But
I don't think everybody speaks that. But
I googled what Trump wants to do with the tariff money, and he had two proposals. One was a $2,000 tariff dividend. He just gives $2,000 to every low income person in the country.
I'd qualify.
Another one was, and these are from Trump himself. Another one was the warrior dividend, where he would give 1776,
I think that already happened, didn't it? To
Um,
military or something like a military bonus or
to
something.
roughly 1.5 million. I don't know if it.
Yeah.
In December 2025,
Yeah.
he announced he was going to do that.
Okay.
And then there's a Republican that put through he's proposed a bill. So this would be going through legislation. Where'd that go? From Josh Howley in Missouri, legislation to give $600 rebates to qualifying individuals. Some Democrats in the Senate said that they wanted to give it to middle income people. And then there's a bill from other Senate Democrats. So they're not even getting behind the ideas. There's a few different Democrat ideas.
Yeah.
The Tax Refund Act, Tariff Refund Act.
Can't.
And then there's one from the House, the
Well-
Democrats in the House, to give it to businessmen, the Relief Act.
Isn't that something they all
There
want
are
to give?
actual proposals.
Well,
that
we
they-
got budget. We got budget deficits. We got real deficits. We got everything all that. We need to pay back. Granted, we're having a windfall of income from tariffs that's
Right.
beyond the budget. I mean, beyond what we expected anyway.
Mhm.
The fact to give it away is just a political thing, even from Trump. It's a political thing because we still have to pay down trillions of dollars,
I'll cash the check though if I get it.
of course. But they've been
But-
doing this now for quite a
yeah.
while. Every president's been giving money away.
Yeah, and that,
Yeah.
and I don't have, when the government takes money and gives it to the American people,
It's
it puts it
ridiculous.
back into the cycle. It's when
Com-
it goes to other countries.
I
that it's a
want us to get
problem.
a better definition of poor, though. The definition of poor is, it's just a bell curve, and you cut it off at some point and say, okay,
Right.
everybody below there is poor,
Right.
and it's just arbitrary. We'll never get rid of poor
Right,
because the
you
bell
can't.
curve will always be there.
Yeah, it's always going
And we're in a capitalist society, and capitalism means an individual can make as much as they want to make.
Right.
So they're going to be at the high end. And some individuals say, nah, I got other things in mind. And some want to just, be a pastor, be a librarian, they
a
have
teacher.
they're a teacher, and their goals are not hitting
Yeah.
that bell curve on the high end. The goal is giving back to communities or giving to certain
Right.
causes or anything like that. And it's all wonderful. It's all available. So the bell curve's always going to exist when we have a country like this. Now, China, that bell curve is pretty much a straight line till you get to the oligarchs, and it shoots up like a hockey stick.
Right.
But most everybody's going to make same in China. They're real close to the same. So there's none of that differentiating. A lot of our Democrats want that here.
I agree.
But we identify the poor by the bell curve, and we just chop it off and say it's right there. That's where if you're below there, you're poor, and then we give them opportunities. I mean, more opportunities than I've ever thought, as far as housing assistance, food assistance,
Right.
helping with childcare assistance, all that assistance. And I know people have done these studies before. I don't have one in front of me right now, where somebody making like $20,000 a year, which is tough to live on with family,
Yeah.
they end up getting all this assistance that makes the equivalent of making $60,000, $70,000 a year, and then they still get additional benefit because you, oh, mom, I'm sorry, you're poor. I'll give you an additional one. Well, they're actually in lifestyle and disposable income
Right.
equivalents making,
They're doing all right.
they're middle class.
Yeah. Yeah. I would rather be poor here than anywhere else in the
But how can you be poor here? I
world.
mean, can you really be
Right.
poor here?
Exactly. Yeah.
You know, if you're poor and you start going into the offices of people for assistance, they're gonna start recommending all these different programs, and you're gonna get on a vehicle program, you're gonna get on a housing program, you're gonna get on a food program,
Right.
you're gonna get on a medical program, and you're gonna make $20,000 a year, but live like you make 70.
And that, when you see the people on the corners,
Will
struggling
work
for
for food? Yeah,
well, I'd be okay with somebody work, they just, the ones, just give me money.
I've
I
tried.
I don't know, do you not realize what's available to you? There's
They do know what's available,
benefits,
but then
they're
they're
just
sitting on the edge of
they're
the street, and they got a will work for food sign, and they want cash, obviously.
right.
Try this, I've done it, but they go up and say, "Hey, buddy, I own a small business down the
Right,
street."
I'll give you,
I said, "Look, alls I need is someone to come back there, clean up this
right.
this lot, it's dirty, cut the grass. I'll feed you like a king. You'll be sick with too much food. You'll have so much beautiful food. You'll be tired of food."
That's funny.
And, "No, I'm okay." Yeah, they're not gonna leave.
Yeah.
They're gonna sit right there.
They're putting in a day's work standing on the corner with the
Some
sign.
of them have made tremendous money. You know, there's been stings before they follow these people home, and some of them live middle class homes and all
Yeah,
that kind of stuff, but,
if they take the time to put something funny on the sign,
they do.
or they'll
Will work for beer,
they'll do a little show or dance or something like that, I'll
jugglers.
pay them for the
Do you?
service of entertaining me.
Yeah.
I'm okay with that. But if they're just
Well,
standing there, I can't work, and well, you're standing for 3 hours at a time here. You
you
can
know,
there's jobs where that's essentially your job.
Father Emilio's with the, St. Francis.
Mhm.
He is he's come in my shop, and I've done some work for him. In fact, I just did it for him and said, "God bless you, Father. Go ahead. Go." You know? But I asked him, I said, about the scammers and all that
Right.
stuff. And I think, "How do you know?" He says, "You don't need to know.
Right.
You don't need to know. If you help them, you're helping,
Right.
and that's in your heart, that kind of stuff." I said, "Well, thanks for straightening that out. So you don't need to
Yeah, I don't
know."
I don't care if their scammers are legit.
Right.
I don't I just
I
I just
understand that.
and I don't have cash on me anyway, so
Yeah,
I do everything with my card,
like
so
you should go up to the guy with a sign that says, "We'll work for food," and ask for a loan.
yeah.
Is that right? Is that where you're at?
No, do you take cards? Do you have a square, on your phone there?
They might.
But and they might these days, but, there's just so many options available for people in
I
our country.
I
You
have
don't
offered to take
understand.
people over to the mission.
Yeah.
I said, "Buddy, get in, and I'll take you over to the mission, and they'll take great care of you and make sure you get something to eat, and you
Right.
can talk to somebody." No, I've been there, man. I hate that. They make you talk about God and stuff, and,
Mm,
they just wanna they wanna be what they're doing.
right.
That's it. I wanna be here. They don't want help. Some. I'm not talking all.
There's a family I saw, this is a couple years ago, but, he was out in the parking lot playing the violin really well,
Yeah.
and I was like, I'll give you money for
He's
if you're busking the streets,
he's probably
alright,
making
cool,
more money than you are
and I'm
on the
okay with that.
violin. That's
He
okay.
had an
It's fine.
incredible skill. I stood and listened for a while, and then his wife was taking care of the kids, but every once in a while she'd
Yeah.
join in with, I forget, it was, sort of a wind instrument,
I,
and, it was beautiful.
I saw a
I'll
lady,
give you money for that. That's fine.
probably in her 30s or something. She sometimes you see these people, they look real distressed, like maybe
Right.
there's alcohol or drugs or something involved in it, or
Right.
something possibly, or just lack of sleep for days. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I saw a lady that was shopping cart, a dog, and at 4 o'clock in the morning, which most people aren't out doing
Right.
that, even the homeless aren't.
Yeah.
But she didn't ask me for anything. She just was polite and how you doing and all that. And I'd seen her before, but I usually would give her $20 and feed that dog. You know? Get that dog fed over there.
Yeah.
You know, seemed like a nice. I know nothing about her story. Nothing. I
Right.
don't know what put her there, and it's not important. But she,
Well, but you've got you've developed a connection.
yeah,
And so, yeah, that's fine. They're people,
yeah, well, yeah,
and you
yeah,
got, you interact with people and
yeah,
you can create connections, and that's fine. But
yeah.
yeah, there's options, there's resources to people, and if they're not using them, that's their call. So
Yeah, Helen, my wife, is probably the biggest, recognition of those kinds of things, and she's one of the more generous people I've ever met. I mean, look
she's
at who she married. She did me a
yeah,
favor.
she gives
So
off that
generous, I'll marry Russ.
she gives off that vibe.
And
She's good
I've
people.
we've stopped in parking lots and stuff, so she can go up and talk, and she'll talk to
Mhm.
people and come back about in tears, and
Mm.
with no more cash. I thought you're a wonderful lady, Helen.
She is.
Yeah, she is.
Yeah,
She is tremendously
yeah.
generous and thankful for everything she has in life and wants everybody to do well. And very godly woman, and really does take care of it. Well, why she married me, man, that mystery is out there. We'll be back. AM 560.
Sunny skies, a high of 95 this afternoon. North wind at 10 to 15, clear and 65 tonight. Sunny at 97 tomorrow. North wind at 10 to 15, 64 and clear on Friday night. And more warm weather on Saturday, partly cloudy and 98.
This is as real as it gets. Get up, get kids up, feed the dog, feed the kids, out the door, work, pick up kids, dinner, bath, bed, repeat. You strive all day to make life better for them. So why not make life better for you? Get Strive-free checking at Avmere Financial. No frills, no fuss, no monthly fee. Open a Strive-free checking today at avmerefinancial.org. Certain restrictions apply. Federally insured by NCUA.
Crime is already skyrocketing in 2026. Now, you may already own a firearm, but before you face the financial, the legal, the emotional weight of pulling that trigger, there is new technology, a smarter option. It's non-lethal. BYRNA.com. Berta makes less lethal launchers. It fires tear gas, pepper spray, kinetic rounds. It is designed to stop an attacker for up to 40 minutes. That gives you time to escape. That gives you time to get help without deadly consequences. Now, remember, it fires at 400 feet per second, and it has serious stopping power, enough to shut down a threat very fast without the legal, moral complexity of using lethal force. And every single launcher hand assembled in beautiful Fort Wayne, Indiana. Legal in all 50 states, no background check, and they'll ship it straight to your door. Just go to BYRNA.com today and find the right launcher for you and your family. That's BYRNA.com.
There's a man in D.C. He stands 6'3". He's fighting. He's fighting for me. Every night, just like he said.
AM 60. I'll start with you. It's Larson. Let me see. Start talking about Reed a little bit, and he wrote a letter.
Right.
I don't like
I
Diego.
don't.
Just, and I know the Dems pushed him out there like a possible presidential guy.
Right.
He's really working on that. He said he's concerned over the White House's lack of action to issue refunds to families and small businesses impacted by tariffs.
Right.
And how would you know? I mean,
Well, Trump's opposed to getting money back to young low income.
well,
but
yeah, but because
doesn't listen to
because of the Supreme Court decision 6-3 last week of Trump's use of International Emergency Economic Powers Act, which they said was the wrong act to use.
Right.
Said the law undergirding his sweeping duties does not authorize the president to impose tariffs. Of course, now he wants. Well, when you give him the cash back,
Right.
let's take a phone call. You're on the air.
It's an issue.
Couple quick things this morning, gentlemen.
Hey,
Come on.
back in the old days, we used to say, in construction, we needed some labor. Today, we could have a mission and
Hey,
we could
man,
get everybody
your signal's bad or something. You're breaking up a little bit, Andy. Get closer to the phone or get us a good signal.
I are here. Can you hear me?
Okay, I can hear that better. Go.
Yeah.
Okay. In the old days, we used to get out of the mission, I'm talking 20, 30 years ago, when we needed some help. And we would get out early in the morning, when the sun's coming up, when these guys just got out of breakfast, say, hey, look, this is what we're paying. We need laborers today.
Yeah.
How many of you guys want to go? And they'd say, well, how many could you take?
Right.
And I found now that you go down there and 1 out of 50 will say, well, I need to make money because I have a family here too. And the rest of them, they don't want to go out and work.
Yeah.
And then I go, okay, so what do you do? I can't physically do any work anymore, but you think that these guys want to get out and get the word out, say, yeah, I want to work it. And then you work one day. We worked them one day. If they were good, we could get them a hotel room and say, man, I want you to stay. Can I help you get off your feet?
Yeah.
Get on your feet. And I just laugh at the way the situation is now. They're so spoiled down there. And you just can't get anybody that wants to work because they have so many free programs.
That's too bad.
Yep.
Yeah. And then now here's the second thing, because I'm going to go back to when I first got listening this morning. On the driver's license thing, for commercial driver's license.
Yeah.
Okay. You have to be able to read and write English is what you're trying to get passed in there now.
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Any country you fly into around the world, what language does the air traffic controller speak?
English, 100% in the world. Yeah. Except maybe Russia. I don't know.
No,
No,
even in Russia.
Yeah.
Even
Even
Russia.
in Russia, at the international airports, they still have to speak English.
Right.
They say it's hard to understand, but it still has to be in the English language. All of when you do your routing and everything else, and set your flight plan, everything has to be done in English.
Yep.
Now, what's wrong with having someone to come into this country and get a job driving? And there's a lot more people driving semis than there are flying airlines.
Yeah.
Or commercial planes. You've got to. I mean, this is supposed to be an English-only state, is it not?
No, it's not English only. But the official language when it comes to courthouses and stuff like that is English.
Right.
Not the
But
official
there's still
language of the country, but that's
Yeah. We still have to have the interpreters to go ahead and they put the headsets on the people that can't speak a word of English.
Well, that's under discussion too. I mean, Trump is saying, that look, on the driver's license test, you got states that have 38 different languages available to take the test. He says, get rid of it. Everything's going to be taken in English.
Well, and I totally agree with that. But, I didn't get to watch the presidential address, but I did get to watch some of the excerpts of it, like the Democrats, when he just told them you should be ashamed of yourself. I love that.
Yeah.
And they didn't stand up for protecting American citizens before illegal aliens. They sat there and he just looked at it with that. He's just got that look.
It was a brilliant move by Trump. It was really well planned, well done.
Well, he set the trap and they set their foot into it.
Yeah, they didn't seem to do real well with it. Like, they didn't know what to do. And they did that other little get together. They had that opposition State of the Union address.
That was stupid.
I can't believe I saw it yesterday after the show. I didn't see it before the show. I didn't even know if they really had a meeting or was it just called the reason to get away. It was ridiculously horrible with dancing gay frogs.
Yeah. Oh God, that was so funny. I'm laughing on that one. But here's the thing: they showed their backside.
Yeah.
Big time. They took their belts off, dropped their pants, showed their backside, and they all looked like idiots.
They really did. They had people taking the mic that should have never gotten near a mic. Yeah.
Everything they said made them look worse. I wonder if they can have any, retrospect and can look back and say, why did we do this?
Anybody that wanted to say I hate Trump got a microphone, and that was about the depth of the intelligence said behind the mic.
They didn't call that a rally. They called that a Trump State of the Union protest.
Yeah.
They didn't call it a rally. They called it a protest.
How many Democrats was it? 70 Democrats who were there? 70?
At least. Well, yeah, and then we had the one protest in Minneapolis. I mean, Ben Bergquam was walking down the street with the mayor of Minneapolis, and the mayor didn't know how to answer his simple question when it came down to protecting ICE. Should ICE be protected? Well, I'm going, what the heck?
Well, you can't ask a lot of questions. The depth of the understanding of the situation's pretty small on a lot of that. It's just
Well,
we just don't like Trump. Just leave it at that.
Yeah.
Yeah, if they tell the truth, they're gonna look even worse than the way it already is. So they tell a lie about telling the truth.
Yeah.
So,
Thank you, buddy.
anyways,
Take
hey,
care.
how you feeling?
A lot better today, man. I mean, I've had a later afternoon and stuff. I feel a little shortness of breath. I guess that goes along with pacemaker surgery.
Yeah.
But it's not extreme. It's not bad. And I'm not really short of breath. I worked out a lot before. I did cardio and I was fine. But today I'm feeling even better. The first 2 days I felt nothing. I felt wonderful, except I couldn't move the arm. It really didn't settle in until Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. And, I got a little bit of that congestion in the upper chest and all, but apparently that's just normal from, sticking
you wanna
wires in
borrow
my
one of
heart
my-
and all. Yeah.
You want to borrow one of my O2 tanks?
Nope, I don't need oxygen, buddy. I'm fine. Thank you.
All right, man. I'll talk to you
And
later.
take care, buddy. Bye-bye. Yeah, that's nice of Andy. But that protest thing they had for the Dems was embarrassing, and it's confusing. Couple things about it. The dancing frog things,
I have no idea what you're talking about.
there were
This
guys in
dancing
frog suits. Frog suits. They had frogs, the ones that have air pumps on them, they puff
Oh,
up.
okay.
There was like 10 of them on stage dancing with the Oregon representative and talked to them. She was all happy. We got the frogs and all that stuff. Oh, well, that's so nice. Trump didn't have frogs. Maybe he'll bring those to next time to the State of the Union. Um, my understanding was, and I got this from another commentator, I haven't double checked it, that those frogs were kind of an Antifa thing up in the Northwest, that they were down there on stage, the Antifa people in frog suits. Now, how true that is, I don't know. But there were guys dressed as giraffes, and other guys dressed, as different animals and stuff. I mean, it was really like, what kind of rally is this? It's kind of a wacko thing. You need to see parts of it.
Well,
And
I've got it in my phone. I'll,
yeah,
Google later.
yeah, take a look at that. Very few people. I mean, it didn't look like 50 people attended it. I think there were more presenters than there were people watching,
That's bizarre.
which is confusing because they have these organizations that put together the high school walkout. That was a professional organization that put
Right.
that together through money and some of these blue things that go on, where they organized and did all that and got rallies and got people involved through social medias and stuff. Apparently, they didn't help them with this. Well, apparently, they didn't bring in the busloads of people.
So the Democrats did it on their own, and
I think so. They didn't go to their PACs, and they thought, well, everything we attend is always filled with busloads of people from other states that come in and everything.
That's funny.
But because they're paid,
Yeah.
that they thought it was real. Maybe nobody went. It looks like they had terrible stage and sound
So
system.
this wasn't one big gathering. It was like a whole bunch of little ones all over the place.
Well, I'm talking about the one that happened in DC.
Oh,
It happened, you could see the Capitol in the background, and they just set up a stage. We do a better stage at the Midnight Oasis and all that stuff. I mean, much better. So they did buy a stage, and we rented one. There was a stage, but it was like a ready-lit stage,
uh-huh.
not a professional performing stage, but one that was adequate for a wedding, maybe. But it was not good. It had Joy Reid singing, which worse than her speaking.
Who's Joy Reid?
She was the one that was fired by CNN for being too racist, the black
Oh,
lady that's
okay.
racist, and then now she does podcasts that are racist and anti-Trump and all that. So she was like a speaker, and they ran out of material, so she started singing.
Ah.
No, not good.
I saw a clip of
The security was terrible.
Robert De Niro
Oh, he's terrible.
speaking. Was that
He's
the
so
same event?
ate up with hate.
Yeah, and he's not really effective as an actor anymore either. So
I don't.
I'm really done with him.
I can't even watch his movies anymore because I see him as he is today when I see the movie. And I say, that's not.
Well, I just see him not being a very good actor.
That's not a tough guy.
He was good.
Yeah, he was.
He's not anymore. Now he just kind of shows up, says his words and goes home. So.
Yeah, well, I'm sure he gets paid a lot because he's a
I'm sure,
name that gets it, possibly. I have no idea. But the security at this place, they had some Trump guy walk up on stage. He had a Trump hat on, but he had a hoodie. So he pulled the hoodie off so that he had a Trump hat on. He grabbed the microphone and said something pro-Trump or something. And
Oh, really?
yeah, finally somebody walked him off, but it wasn't security. I don't know who it was. So they didn't really have a lot of thought into this thing.
That's
When you're having all those senators and representatives there, if there were 40, 50, 70, you you gotta have some security.
right.
I would think that you couldn't just walk on a stage like that. That was distressing that the Trump guy could just walk up. He's laughing and joking around and stuff and says something about pro-Trump and annoyed the crowd.
Right.
But nobody got violent. They just walked him off to the sidewalk, which I don't know if he's trespassing. I think he's in a park, you know. I think it's a public area, but
Well,
I
and
think
even
walking on stage is rude. I don't agree.
even if not, if they allowed him on and gave him access to the mic, that was on them.
I don't think it was intentional. I mean, he just kinda ran right up there.
Good for him.
And he was holding a camera stick out, so he's doing selfies at the same time. He said, "Look at me, I'm up on the stage with the Democrat."
That's funny.
But getting back to Geico, he wants to give the money away at his terms, not on Trump, because this tariff money he's making it sound like it is a political thing that now he owes the people in the United States $100 billion. Well, all that would do would be the government paying $100 billion to people,
Right.
which would be silly.
Well, even Trump is suggesting giving it back to the
Some
people.
portions
Yeah.
of it, some
But-
portions, not all of it.
Yeah,
Obviously, the tariffs. When he said that we're going to collect money, it'll pay down debt. And that's the goal, is to pay
Mhm.
down debt. But I think he did that as a recognition that tariffs are a good thing. To stop whining.
Yeah.
Here's a little money.
Well, and my thing is the Democrats aren't even coming together with one idea. There's
They're all over the place. Yeah, there's no
They
consistency.
they're not a unified group, even though they claim to be,
But something that's
the
positive
party.
too, and the Democrats, point out that all these tariffs is like another tax, and all these people are paying tons more money, which some of the economists were saying, it's terrible, it's going to crash it. We're going to have a depression by the end of 25. And they had to come back and say, we made it all wrong. The tariffs are actually good. They're working. And now Gallego is admitting that they collected $100 billion, which many thought you're not going to collect anything. You're just going to cause business to stand still,
Right.
stagnate. Never happened. And most of the businesses absorbed most of the tariffs. And I don't know to what degree and what percentages, but they
Right.
did.
It's going to be how
So
much they could.
But in the meantime, we did collect like 155 billion or so. And now they have to admit we got the money because they want us to give it away. And they interviewed some businesses that says, "Well, I can't go in business anymore because my prices have gone so high and all that kind of stuff. The stuff I buy from China, stop buying it from China."
Yeah, that would be a good idea.
And not all the tariffs have passed on. And when you talk about 10, 15%, I think China's more, but 10%, that's on wholesale.
Right.
So that's going to be 5% retail.
Yeah.
And
That bad.
during Biden's 1 year, we had over 8% in inflation, which added 8%. And you're telling me this 5% has ruined your world? I don't believe it. Even if it was that high, I don't think it was. I think that most people absorbed it.
And even so, there's something about like business evolution. The strong survive.
Yeah.
After the COVID, a lot of good businesses. I only had one thing that my business did, and it was canceled out, and so my business died.
Yeah.
But there was another company right next to you that had one thing that they did, and they
Diversified.
adjusted. They found
Yeah.
another way to keep their business alive, and they're stronger for it.
Stop making buggy whips.
Yeah.
If nobody's
Yeah.
buying them,
Yeah.
make
so-
something else.
I understand sometimes things can be hard on one business or another, and it's not necessarily a universal thing. Some businesses take a harder hit in one situation than another, but that's business. You got to adjust. You got to reevaluate, make take some chances on a new idea.
Well, and these
see what
these tariffs are great opportunities for businesses and stuff too. Because there's I think Trump had like $20 billion or $1 trillion or something of people that signed up were going to invest in the United States. Now, not a lot of
Right.
it's hit yet, but it
Right.
has. Some of it has, and some of it's already come, and building started. And when this thing really snowballs, and are we going to have enough people to fill those jobs?
Right. Well, and we were talking a little bit ago about something, and and you said, well, it all eventually balances out. And my comment was, yeah, the transition's hard,
No, can't
and
be.
that's kind of the situation we're in right now. There's a lot of things transition. It will eventually balance out.
I think
Things will settle,
but I think our
but it's
transitioning.
going to be hard in the meantime.
I think our transitioning is less hard than it was the last 4 years. Last 4 years was terrible. Even though we're in a transition, we've seen improvements in cost of livings. We've seen real gains in employment income.
Yeah.
We've seen great numbers on the employment side. Not exactly what they want, but better employment numbers. And for the employees that lost their jobs or the employment numbers that have grown, it's all in the private sector. All of it.
Yeah.
It's not in the government sector. And the government sector is kind of it's a job, but I have to take money from other citizens without any giving them anything. Well, it's another expense and a job all at the same time. So you're buying jobs,
Right.
which is not a good thing, versus somebody that's productive and actually making wealth of working for private enterprise.
Yeah. And not only that, the more we can get covered by more services we can get into the private sector, they're competitive. They're
Correct.
finding ways to reduce. Whereas we've seen that's what DOGE was all about. The bureaucracy was growing and growing and growing, got bloated because there's no competition, there's no reason
Right.
to lower prices, and
They were more than just studying for
costs.
fraud. They were looking for efficiencies
Yeah.
and doing more with less.
The more we can get into the private sector, the better.
Right.
And I'm all for that. I think it's a great idea. And private sector has proven themselves to be much more effective at providing services at
Well,
low cost and giving people jobs.
take Elon Musk. Elon Musk pays better than most all his competitors. I'm taking SpaceX. Let's take
Right.
SpaceX. SpaceX pays better than its competitors, and they're more productive. And they're building rockets for 10 cents on the dollar from what NASA did. And then and yet you've got the Democrats saying, but he's making profit and profit's bad.
Yeah.
Well, he's making profit and building it for 10 cents on the dollar and still has money to put some in his pocket.
And my thing with people with extreme wealth like him is I do think there's a responsibility to provide employment opportunities for people, and he's doing that.
Gosh,
He has people employed, he's paying them well, he's giving them benefits, and just like Andy was saying, when you get the day workers, if they were a good day worker, put them in a hotel, try to build them up, and so that they can keep being if you provide for your employees will return
Well,
the favor and be good employees.
the
for you.
Democrats hate Tesla for a few reasons.
Well,
One is it's non-union.
Yeah.
And the reason they're non-union is because they pay more than the union, more than Ford, more than Chevy, more than all of them. They get more remuneration from Tesla than they do from these others, and they still can build it cheaper. They're
Right.
still more efficient. And the unions have tried to unionize them. They've been unsuccessful. And then they hate it. Well, you're not union. Well, my people don't want to be union or they'd have voted in. And that's not a choice of the businessman. That's a choice of the employees.
Right.
They can vote in a union in this country. And these guys said, I got a golden goose right now. I got a great thing. I'm not going to ruin it by having a union boss tell me how to act.
And that's appropriate. The unions came about because the people were being mistreated by management.
They've outlived their
He's not
usefulness.
mistreating his people.
We got to take a break. It's 7:00 AM 560 KBLU.
This is News Talk 560 KBLU, Yuma.
Make a deal. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. That is a big question as nuclear talks resume today with the U.S. The principle is very simple. Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon. That's Vice President Vance. Iran claims it never wants to build a weapon, but does want to keep making fuel for nuclear power as the American military buildup grows in the Middle East.
After several hours of indirect discussion in Geneva, Switzerland, mediators said creative and positive ideas were exchanged. If President Trump chooses to attack Iran, the Iranians have warned that all U.S. military bases in the Middle East would become legitimate targets. A devastating war involving the whole region, warned Iran's Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi.
That's Fox's Jonathan Savage. The U.S. is investigating what Cuba claims was a terrorist attempt to infiltrate the island by armed Cubans who live in the U.S. in a speedboat. They were shot by Cuba's military. 4 died, 6 wounded.
The gunfire erupted near Kyle Falcones. One of the victim's family members told the Associated Press her relative had become obsessed with the quote, quest for Cuba's freedom, wanting a change in government. The details of the incident remain unclear. Secretary of State Marco Rubio says he's gathering information.
That's Fox's Lucas Tomlin. The former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton will answer questions today in a congressional investigation into Jeffrey Epstein's sex trafficking scheme. It'll be before President Bill Clinton's turn tomorrow.
The House Oversight Committee subpoenaed the Clintons last year, and after a back and forth over scheduling, Oversight set deposition dates for this past January. The Clintons failed to appear. They sent a letter to the House Oversight Committee chairman saying the demand for their testimony was partisan politics. But after 9 Democrats sided with Republicans to hold the former president in contempt, and 3 Democrats agreed to hold former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton in contempt, the couple relented.
That's Fox's Jessica Rosenthal. Also answering questions today. The woman who sued social media platforms will testify. She claims they were made to be addictive and led to her depression as a child. Americans listening to Fox News.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I am grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/term. That's ethos.com/term. Facebook first. Constant application review. Online help questions required.
The Tunnel to Towers Foundation honors America's heroes and their families, heroes like Scott Abrams. Now, for more than 3 decades, Scott served his community and country while he was on his NYPD motorcycle escorting a funeral procession. Scott was hit by a bus, leaving him partially paralyzed. Tunnel to Towers is able to honor Scott with a mortgage-free smart home. Please join us supporting the Tunnel to Towers Foundation. If you can donate $11 a month, go to their website, the letter T, the number 2, the letter T.
From the News 11's information desk, I'm Selena Quintana. Customs and Border Protection agents have arrested a suspected cartel scout in the mountains of east of Yuma. Authorities say the arrest comes as part of an ongoing investigation into cartel-related human smuggling activity in the Wilson area. Yuma Sector Border Patrol agents along the air and marine operations made the arrest last Wednesday. During a search of the site, agents found food, supplies, and a solar panel, showing he was on an extended mission to monitor law enforcement. The suspect, who with 2 prior expulsions, was taken to Welton Station and will be referred to the U.S. Attorney for prosecution and removal. Authorities say the arrest will disrupt future cartel scouting in the area. Catch the TV side on News 11 every weekday at 5, 6, and 10 p.m. for your local news, weather, and sports.
Good heart care starts with a team of experts beside you. This heart month and all year long, the team at Arvita Health guides you with clarity and confidence. From heart disease prevention and early detection to treatment and recovery, we're with you so you feel informed, supported, and confident. Here's care that never skips a beat. Here's to life. Learn more about heart care and where to start at onvitahealth.org/heart.
The man
AM 560 KBLU. Russ Clark with you. It's 7:05 on a Thursday morning. And Fisher's Landing came in. Scott, how are you doing?
Doing great, sir. Thanks for having us.
Man, always glad. I didn't realize it was that. I mean, I know it's coming up. It's on my calendar, but
it's here.
I've been so busy. It's here. It's coming. There's a rib cook-off Saturday.
Right. Our annual fundraiser for Amberley's Place,
which is wonderful for a lot of reasons. One is it's a little bit out of town, like a couple miles out of town.
That's right.
But you feel like you went a lot farther because it's a different atmosphere.
Totally different atmosphere. We're out, you get to drive through YPG, you get to see some wildlife, you get to see the river.
Well, yeah, the river looks like you just went to Florida or something.
Right,
Everything's
yeah.
right out
We
there.
don't have any crocodiles. They're
No
safe.
crocodiles?
No alligators either.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just and everybody's nice.
We have some monster catfish and some monster, largemouth bass.
Are you having a fish contest on the same day?
We are not.
Because that's happened before.
Well, we've really tried to discourage the bass angler, the whole tournament circuit around this day. We chose this date about 8 months ago, 10
Right,
months ago.
which is smart.
And we've pushed everybody away. But with our launch ramps were down for a month, and now they're up and running, and everything's fine, and we're all dancing around each other pretty well. So
Okay.
there's just no parking for their boats because our venue is the parking lot. So we take over that entire area with our competitors, our vendors, our
Yeah, you kind of fence it off a little bit.
we do, but we have challenges on the day of. So we have, between the
You have tow trucks?
we have tow trucks. We have a big D9 tractor.
Yeah. Yeah, that's all right. Don't bother moving it. I'll move it for you.
There you go. Yeah. Where do you want it? We got a big pettibone too. So yeah. So this is our big day of the year. Our volunteer staff is just phenomenal. We've had so many people just come out of the woodwork to help us. We're always looking for volunteers, especially the day of. But
how many times have you done this?
This is our eighth.
Eighth, okay.
Yes. Yeah. So it's
a long time.
Every year there's a new challenge. We get a little better at it every year. We have great competitors, contestants, and every year it's a different mix.
Because this is a contest, so you can make the best ribs.
Oh yeah, make the best ribs. Win $2,000 if you're and $500 for the People's Choice.
Right.
And you get to taste the ribs. You get to go up, see the teams that are cooking, eat their ribs, eat their side dishes, right here on site, at Fisher's Landing, and it's a fundraiser for Amberleys, and that's our philanthropic goal every year is to raise money for Amberleys. So this is what we do, and this is our big one for the year.
Same band as last year?
No, this year is going to be Rated R and DJ
Rated
Touring.
R.
Yeah, they're local. They're human.
Still a kid place.
Yeah.
Kid
No,
friendly.
it's just a
just a name.
all the other names are gone, so they went
with Rated R.
Yeah,
The Beatles was taken.
yeah, that's right. Yeah, Blue Oyster Cult was used up
Yeah,
already.
it's all used up. Yeah,
Yeah, so they're playing till 5, and it's from noon to 5. And the DJ will be there from 10 to 5, and we have a professional MC going to be making announcements all day long.
You're going to let me do it again?
Yeah,
All right. Yeah,
Yeah.
professional one day a year.
right. But last year we had about 1,000 people. It's going to be warm. So bring a chair, bring an umbrella, some water.
Yeah, a lot of people bring those little pop-ups.
Right, and that's welcome. Come on out.
Yeah.
And, it's free parking. We have to monitor the parking so we don't. We have to be able to deal with people in handicap or mobility issues. So we
You
bring
help
them
with
up.
that a little
Yeah,
bit.
we got that covered.
Yeah, but parking gets tight, but there's tons of room out there. It's a desert.
Acres,
It's acres of parking. Now you may not get within 10 steps of where you want to go, but you're going to park.
Yeah, we're going to park. Yeah,
There's not a problem.
we're going to get you somewhere.
You have people out there directing parking?
Oh yeah, our staff does the monitoring from early morning to the end of the day.
Yeah, because those people want to sneak in, park and
We got
gum things
we
up.
got 'em.
So when you go get the tractor, tow this one.
Yeah, we're just urging people to come on out and remember it's a fundraiser for a great cause. Amberleys it's unfortunately it's necessary, but they had 3,000 cases last year, and that's Yuma. So they're an important, vital function for Yuma.
Yeah, that's a growth industry, and that is sad. It's a growth industry.
It truly is.
You would like to think that industry is going to drive and go away with the buggy whip.
But no.
No.
And Amberleys is a template for the nation.
It has
for
been.
abuse centers, yeah. And so we're real proud to team with them. We're real proud to do this for them. Their people will be on site, so you can come out and talk to the Amberleys people. And we're going to have a meet and greet Friday night for the contestants and sponsors, and the Amberleys folks will be in attendance.
And ask those Amberleys folks lots of questions. They'll tell you.
Oh yeah,
And
yeah.
it's who really, all the other agencies that have to deal with abuse, I really love them because they have staff and people that go into Amberley's place so that they can interview, victims away from the courtrooms, away from all that, videotape it, not have these people go to 7 different reliving the incidents, and they can treat them much better. And I can tell you, the police, the sheriffs, and the prosecutors, they like this a lot.
That's why it's so important for Yuma to come out, support Yuma, and support this charity. This is so important for folks to understand. And you get to eat the food. You get to come out. You get to try the different food from the different contestants.
And there's adult beverages available. There's
Of
beer
course.
garden. That's why you fence it off.
That's right. That's right. There'll be
So that your liquor license.
Well, we have to get a special event license, but yeah, we got it. We're all good to go.
Yeah, so you can say that's within the confines of this area and all that. That's what really comes out.
It's it's a family friendly event. We got security. We're gonna have a bunch of Boy Scouts out there helping up. Keep things neat and tidy.
But not a lot of people go to Fisher's Landing very often. But when if you get this this is a great opportunity. You can drive around a little bit, go out.
Go out to Red Cloud Mine, go out to the Refuge Center. Yeah.
And that'll be open that day.
Oh yeah.
Okay. And they do tours and stuff.
Right. And the refuge will be open. And we're gonna have the paddle wheeler will be there, open house.
Yeah.
So you can come see the paddle wheeler.
Dinner cruiser.
Right, exactly.
Is that getting a lot of attention now?
A lot of attention. Some days it's 2 trips a day.
And I know you can rent the whole thing if you want for like a
birthday party
or some party or something.
One of our residents there, they got married on that boat 30 years ago.
Really?
So they just had their anniversary on the boat, 30-year anniversary. So that was pretty cool.
That is nice. Yeah, that boat's been out there a while.
It has been, yes. It's running good now. We're good to go.
Well, you guys had to go through it and do a lot of.
Oh yeah, the Coast Guard's been out twice doing our annual. 3 times now, and are doing an annual checkup. We're gonna pull it out of the water. They check the hull and so
because it takes the public.
Right.
Yeah,
and you're on the Colorado River.
Right.
People forget that we're on the Colorado River. So.
Yeah. So don't drink and boat.
No, well, that's somebody else, right? We have Coast Guard accredited captains on taking care of that.
That's right. And the sheriff's office is out there with a boat.
Oh yeah. The sheriff's, the border patrol.
Yeah, they're out there.
Yeah, there's I think 6 agencies that patrol the river where we're at, the 40 miles that we're access to.
It's got a resort type atmosphere out there.
It certainly does. A lot of us live there.
Right.
So
that's because you're resorting all the time. You're living the life.
Yeah.
And doing all that. So take sunscreen, take your shirt, your seats
hat.
if you want.
And bring a chair.
Bring a chair. All that's acceptable.
Right. Exactly. And it's only 35 minutes from Yuma proper. Come out in the 95. We're between.
And there have been some great vendors out there.
Fantastic vendors. Yeah, we have. We had our car show. We had Cutco knives. We had all kinds of local Yuma people. We had so it's and that part of it is growing too. It's become something that the vendors like to come out and do because the fee is small, the area is big, and the people. There's a lot of people.
Now it says $20 per ticket at the gate. And that means to go into the area to buy the ribs.
Right. So you buy the ticket. And each ticket has a series of punch hole card. It's a punch card, basically.
It's a punch card.
So you go to this contestant and you get a rib and a side. That's 2 punches. Go to the next guy. Maybe you don't like the side. You just get 2 ribs. So.
Yeah, and if you like one guy best, you get them all.
Right. Well, but you can only get 2 bones at a time. We learned the hard way. Yeah, because people will clean you out. We learned this the first couple of years. People will come up with a chafing dish and want to buy all your ribs.
Give me all of them.
Yeah, and so we have house ribs for that. We sell them at $20 a rack.
And then you can go get them all.
Yeah, you can
the house ribs.
Yeah.
Okay.
You can buy racks at a time.
But from the contestants,
you can only get 2 bones at a time. Yeah.
2 at a time.
That way they have enough meat because they start at 4 or 5 in the morning cooking and to have enough food to get through the day. So
yeah. And it is a contest. I mean, these guys really take some effort to win.
Yes. You got to see the apparatus they cook on.
They all have secrets.
Of course they do.
Yeah,
every good kitchen has
marinate, how they do all that stuff.
Well, they have to do everything on site. So
it's all done there. Yeah. Because you have the meat.
We provide the meat and we control the meat, and that's part of the health department protocol.
Okay.
You don't get to cook anything at home because we don't know what your home kitchen looks like.
And health department's out there. They
come sit with us.
Make sure everybody's got the gloves on, handling things.
Right.
To where
we got the right
safe.
holding procedures.
Right. Right temperatures, probably. They probably
exactly. It's
walk
a big
around
deal.
with thermometers.
It's a big deal. Yeah. Everyone's got their.
But they're nice folks. They've always treated you well.
Always been fair. Always been fair. Yeah. And they've worked with us. We've had last minute people like Friday night they want to compete, and all right, well, the health department will be here, so make sure you have your paperwork. So they, as long as everybody's on the up and up, and they have been, so we haven't had
So
a
you
problem.
still have room if somebody wants to be a contestant. Say you could
Oh,
just squeeze
sure.
them. You could squeeze them in.
We can squeeze them in.
And you got a phone number for that somewhere. What is it? 928-318-7802?
Yep.
That's right. Yes. Good thing you brought her.
I know, right? Keep me out of trouble.
Keep you definitely out of trouble. First, second, third place, the winners, and they enjoy it. It's a friendly competition.
And there's a People's Choice Award too. It's $500 if you're People's Choice.
And the People's Choice.
Yeah.
So if you're eating ribs, you really like them, do them right, and go tell.
And go drop that. It's that ballot is right on your rib ticket when you buy it. So you just
ballot.
Yeah, you get it, and so you just write the number on it, drop the ticket, off into.
It is kid friendly, so bring the kiddos. You got a kid zone.
We got a kid zone. We do indeed. Yes.
I'm gonna bring my 3-year-old grandson, just turn loose on you. Make your life exciting.
We'll put him to work.
He'll
be flipping ribs on a big old Santa Maria grill.
And they have big raffles there. I mean,
yeah, we got quite the raffle tent. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it takes a long time just to call out all the numbers. In fact, you don't do that. You put it on a board now.
You
have
put
to
it
go
on
by
the
the
board,
board.
right? Yeah, we're doing the board thing again.
Yeah, you put it on the board, and that way,
Yeah.
you can just walk by and see if your number's up on the board.
Right.
Because you had a number of them. There's a lot of them.
Right.
So, and we'll make sure it gets to everyone. So, have we covered it all?
I think so. It's only $20. It's this Saturday. Come on out. It's going to be warm, so just want to.
By warm, you mean less than 100?
It'll be less than 100. Yeah,
That's not even warm in Yuma. I don't know why you call it that.
Everyone's whining about it.
It's just warmer than the unusual.
Well, most of our our winter visitors are used to 40 below. So this is
Don't bring your snowshoes. Don't.
Leave the parka at home. But bring a chair and an umbrella. Yeah.
Yeah,
come have some fun.
And bring a kid with a little bucket and a sand bucket.
There you go. You can play on the river.
Make a castle.
Play on a riverbank. Yeah.
Yeah, they could do it.
Come on out, support Amberleys. Help us, help them.
I'll mention it again tomorrow too.
All right.
And we'll get them out there. It's on 10882 North Fisher's Landing. Of course, if you go to Fisher's Landing, it's just at the end of the road.
That's right.
You don't need to know the instructions.
Yeah, you turn left on the Martinez Lake exit off the 95 and just don't.
And you're there.
You're there. 11 miles.
11 miles, you're right there. You don't have to turn.
A brand new, beautiful road that,
They did do a nice job.
They did a great job.
There were some people that thought, well, it's going to take away the character because I love getting motion sickness going up and down that road.
Yeah, but we were hitting probably 2 or 3 donkeys a month. Now we hit maybe 2 a year. So we're doing pretty good.
How many have you personally hit, Scott?
None. 0.
Really?
Wow. One of our employees totaled her car.
It's not hard to do. You had a 1,000-pound animal.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Poor thing.
Was the donkey okay?
Yeah, donkey did not make it. No,
donkey.
Her license plate says no donkey now.
No donkey. Did she?
She did.
She's okay though.
She good.
Because it's dangerous.
Very dangerous.
I mean, they could come through the windshield.
Yes, they can. So
but
now the road's improved. And there's not going to be any donkeys. I already talked to them. They're going to stay off the road Saturday.
The roads you can see now. The problem in the past, there were so many dips going down, coming back up, going down. You could come up with donkeys right there.
Right there.
Now it's kind of a straight shot. So if you hit one, you're not paying attention.
Well, you're trying to, and you can't eat them once you hit them. All right.
Still, even if you hit them.
No. That's coyote and buzzard bait now.
Since 1972.
It's a circle of life.
Now, have you ever had a donkey meat?
No.
Never?
Never.
Man, I've talked to people up in Mojave. I spent some time in Mojave.
Yeah.
And they used to have a Rotary Club that every year, that was their big fundraiser. They did barbecue burro and burro tacos and stuff. And now you can't even say it because people just get outraged.
They're federally protected. So.
Yeah, not endangered. There's a big difference.
Oh, yeah, they're not in danger. No.
They're everywhere.
Well, because knuckleheads would hurt them. So,
they're protected.
They're protected, yeah.
Yeah, you can't harass them. You can't.
No, you shouldn't feed them. But there's a number of people who bring carrots just for the donkey or apples. Yeah, don't do it.
Yeah, because then they're just going to run out of traffic looking for nothing.
That's exactly what they did. They come right to look at Oakwood. They come right to the side of the road and they'll come right into town.
They think, well, people in the cars have carrots. I'm going to keep around them. Yeah, that's not good for you.
You're exactly right. Exactly right.
Keep away from that. Well, appreciate you coming in. That's a long trip, That was like 12 miles or something. Was it?
Well, It's not that long.
No,
Come on.
no, it's not.
Most of these people are driving from Canada, Michigan, Washington.
No, it's a nice getaway, and it feels like a getaway, even though you're just right on the outside of town.
Right. Exactly.
But it does feel like a getaway.
Right.
You kind of left civilization out there with Scott now.
It's it's closer than Quartzsite.
A lot so. Well, thank you for coming in. I will definitely see you Saturday,
All right. Thanks for having me.
and I'll mention it again tomorrow.
Very good.
We'll make sure everybody knows.
Appreciate that.
I'll be right back. AM 560 KBLU.
A Great American RV Roadshow Super Sale is going on now at the Yuma Fairgrounds.
This is our second show in Yuma, and the selection and savings are bigger than ever.
You'll find incredible savings on new and used RVs, plus special markdowns on repos and buybacks.
Everything from affordable towables to luxury Class A diesel pushers.
This is one of the world's largest traveling RV sales, and no reasonable offers refused.
Don't miss the Great American RV Roadshow Super Sale.
Now through Sunday at the Yuma County Fairgrounds. Presented by RV Country.
This is as real as it gets. Get up, get kids up, feed the dog, feed the kids, out the door, work, pick up kids, dinner, bath, bed, repeat. You strive all day to make life better for them. So why not make life better for you? Get Strive-free checking at Avenir Financial. No frills, no fuss, no monthly fee. Open a Strive-free checking today at avenirfinancial.org. Certain restrictions apply. Federally insured by NCUA.
Sunny skies, a high of 95 this afternoon. North wind at 10 to 15, clear and 65 tonight. Sunny 97 tomorrow. North wind at 10 to 15, 64 and clear on Friday night. And more warm weather on Saturday, partly cloudy and 98.
What's up, Yuma, and hello, Russ Clark Show listeners. Johnny Porter here, and I just made the switch to Allo Fiber, and it's a game changer. Lightning fast speeds for streaming, working from home, and gaming. No buffering or slowed down speeds. It's time to ditch the glitch and switch to Allo Fiber.
We're the comfort experts, people you can trust. Ask our customers. That's why they count on us. Over 50 years of service. Keep us going strong. We've got a name you can depend upon. Hamburger refrigeration and electric hamburger. Count on us.
There's a man in D.C. He stands 6'3". He's fighting for you. He's fighting for me.
AM 560 KBLU. Russ Clark with you. And I have Chris here somewhere. I think he's outside saying goodbye. Nicole Wilkinson sent me something, which was nice. I didn't, because I didn't pick up on it. But Representative Seth Moulton, I don't know where he's from. There's calls to have him arrested on felony charges. And it's the first I've heard about it, but he's a representative, and he brought an illegal alien with him as a guest into the State of the Union. And then he instructed his chief of staff to hide the illegal from the police.
That does sound criminal.
Wow. And this is taking him right into into the same room with the president.
Yeah, and you don't know where he's from because
Seth Moulton, I can find out.
All the people they elected him should be like,
well,
that seemed like a good idea at the time, maybe, but
the thing
like
that's damning is
terrible judgment.
You know it's wrong, so you tell your chief of staff,
right,
hide him in Massachusetts. So Massachusetts, he might be a hero for that.
Wow.
He's U.S. House of Representatives, Massachusetts 6th District. Assumed office in 2015, so he knows better.
That sounds like really bad.
But he knows better if he tells his chief of staff, hide it. Because to get into that room, you need a voting ID. You need an ID. And you can't get in on the floor. The floor is strictly senators, staff,
right,
and representatives. And of course, you got the chief of staff, you got the Supreme Court
Well,
You got the
that
cabinet. You got
Minneapolis woman, Minnesota woman, she brought a guest in too.
but they stay up in the galley upstairs.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, there's guests up there, but that's very regulated
Uh-huh.
on who can go in there. The
Well, you were talking about the security at Democrat event where that Trump supporter got in.
he walked right
Sounds
up
like
onto the stage.
sounds like this was some bad security as well. If they were
Well,
how
the security
did
didn't
they
let anybody get close to president, but
right.
but
They
you're
should
bringing in an illegal alien to make a point that, yeah, man, they're good. We took them right to the Capitol to see the president in
was
person.
he was in the chamber
That's what I
in the
understand.
gallery?
He was a guest there. That's what
Yeah,
it says.
I would have to say Secret Service dropped the ball on that. I would think they'd be checking people's identities, even if they're a guest of a senator or
I have no idea. But I can tell you, anybody that goes in there, you go through an airport type security.
yeah. You wouldn't
You
have
know,
had you wouldn't have had a
just
weapon.
on a regular day, you go through an airport type security.
Yeah.
So it's there's some checking that goes on.
There's gonna be some questions after that,
Wow.
I'm sure.
And somebody suggesting that yeah, that
It does
that
sound
they
like
you tell the chief of staff, you got to hide this.
Yeah.
Well, you're just admitting, that this is way out of bounds.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do it anyway because I'm a rogue.
I don't know if it would be considered illegal, but it's certainly bad judgment.
We should send ice after that guy. Get some ice friends, go get him. Who I don't know who he is and what's going on with that, but to be proud about it and say I'm going to take the illegal right into the chamber with the president that says, we're trying to find illegals.
Right.
And I'm going to take him there and put him right in front of you. That's just dangerous.
Yeah.
I mean, for him personally too, but
Well,
maybe he's a hero in Massachusetts. For you. Maybe Massachusetts goes, all right, man, we love illegals.
Well, they are the ones that did the whole Tea Party thing, so
Yeah,
maybe
well,
they like
they also
thumbing their
support
nose.
Elizabeth Warren. Isn't Elizabeth Warren there? My fact checker says the Democrats had a master class in politics. I agree. As they stood for taxes and taxes pay for the fraud they hand out, they stayed seated for the America First because their base is against it. Democrats played to their politic base, so the so-called political commercials will never be effective because Americans don't follow politics, and the media will play it down. They were brilliant. I don't agree with him. I think the Democrats.
Your fact checker? You don't agree with your fact checker?
It happens on
He's
times.
checking
It
facts.
happens sometimes.
Well, yeah, it sounds like he's giving his opinion at this moment.
But they did stand for taxes.
Yeah, I didn't see it, so I'm gonna say it.
Yeah, I'm ruining it for you. When Trump says the Democrats.
Spoiler alert, man.
Yeah, the Democrats, they stand for taxes, and they stood up and
Uh-huh.
applauded. Not all of them, but most.
Yeah, that does seem contrary to what
And they stood for the
their
fraud and the
message is.
taxes that they hand out. I think he's being sarcastic. I don't know. But at the end, he says, the Democrats played to the political base. Well, the political base isn't big enough to get them over the hurdle. They need the independents too.
Yeah, it's all about the independents, so
I
so
don't,
maybe
I
they
don't
were
know. And the political base for the Democrats are shrinking.
Yeah.
And if they get the voter ID, it'll shrink a lot because I don't know if they're all real
well,
voters.
and not,
I don't
you
think
know
you have to have a pulse to be a Democrat.
well, they have, yeah, they have two different, numbers that they're working on. Yeah, you got the voters, but then you also have the people that are just existing in the states. All the illegal aliens are getting counted in the census.
Yeah.
Give them more representation,
Right. 'Cause
and then they have people that shouldn't be voting those representatives in.
Right.
So there's two different
representation is
values.
based on population. So the
Right.
more population, the more representation.
Whether legal population or not, they still get
Right.
counted. So
But
they're working it on both ends. They're getting more representation in the government, and at the same time voting in their people with people that shouldn't be voting.
interesting.
So,
Heather Honey, you know who that is?
no,
Apparently, she's a deputy assistant secretary for DHS. So
okay,
Heather Honey.
deputy assistant secretary. Okay,
Yeah, she wants to make it clear that she's the assistant secretary for election integrity. And she's been telling the secretaries of state that any suggestion that ICE will be present at any polling location is simply not true. And I want to talk about that a little bit. But let me take a phone call first. You're on the air.
Hey, Russ, what the heck's going on there? What's going on there, Mr. Larson?
Yeah.
I'm here. I just got my headphones on.
We're just working hard and trying to make a living, man.
Okay.
What's up with you?
Okay, now you sound like a Democrat.
What's going on, George?
Well, I was listening to your show this morning. I'll put my 2 inputs. The greatest treasure that we got out of the State of the Union, watching the Democrats being a bunch of cockaheads, immature, very immature, and then listening to all the slants across America between MSNBC, CNN, ABC, CBS, and the people on Facebook. And I'm just listening to stuff. Well, what in the heck are you guys talking about? Where did he ever say he's going to take Americans hostage and kidnap them? Where the heck do they? You wonder where are these guys getting all this crap other than their Thunderbook?
They don't seem to need facts at all.
Nope.
In fact, they always know what Trump's going to do before he does it. Apparently, De Niro and others says, he's king. He's trying to be king. He's not going to go away. I mean, that's just become commonplace for the Democrats.
Yes, well, that's all they got. That's all they have is spread hate and discontent and continue to separate us. There's a lot of even our white brothers with their BS and their words and their this one guy was talking trash about your what's that stand up, protect yourself, what's that called, Russ?
Stand your ground law.
Yeah. That makes it easy for me to kill the N-word.
Well, I didn't hear that one, but they were saying use your stand your ground laws against ICE if they knock on your door, which was just ridiculous. Just ridiculous. But they're just spewing filth.
Then you got some of our Hispanic calling our border patrol agents that are Latino racist. They're traitors to the cause and yada yada yada. Wow.
I know.
Talk about separation.
It's scary to think there's a lot of people that believe that think that way. I mean, they're not the majority, but we can never let them be majority. We're in real trouble.
And they forgot about how Biden made us put that mask on, how they put the fear of God in us with COVID and separated the churches or made
shut them down.
Shut them down, shut schools down, shut a lot of businesses down, but they kept the strip clubs and nightclubs open.
Well, everybody's going to have priority.
Essential service.
And that's what we should be talking about and reminding them. And what Obama, Clinton, and Biden, they're the ones that put the people in cages and separated the children from the parents. And I'm talking about kids that had their parents with them. I'm not talking about kids that were there by themselves.
Right.
Yeah.
But I'm talking about kids that had parents there and they still separated them. They did that. Not Trump, even though they're saying Trump's doing it. They tend to forget that kind of garbage. Obama with his Obamacare, how much did our medicine go up? And how long did it take for a farmer to take over?
Well, he undid some of the controls that Trump had put in on keeping the prices down.
Right.
Yeah.
No, Biden did that. Not
Biden did that. Yeah,
Right.
Trump put in some controls on his first time that Biden took away. Absolutely.
Right. That's what I'm getting at. And this is the kind of stuff that we don't need to go back and forth like a tennis game. We just need to bring up the facts and keep on the facts. That's all we got to do is show them the facts, what happened and what's going on now. But anyway, that's my 2 cents. My wife's having a yard sale out here, and I'm her gopher, so I got to go do some more stuff.
You keep her happy, my friend. Take care.
Hey, making her happy, I get blueberry pie.
There you
Well,
go.
there you
That's
go.
a benefit. Take care, man. Bye-bye. Yeah, up there on Blueberry Hill, I guess. ICE agent.
At
Mar-
polling places is
and
not
pulling
gonna
that
happen.
Heather Honey had to explain that. And this, this is the Democrats making a big deal out of something that doesn't exist.
Right.
They're saying, well, we can't have it at polling places.
Right.
They've never been
Well,
at polling places.
yeah, and now and by throwing something out there like that,
Yeah.
it implies there was some sort of idea that they would be, and now that they're not gonna be, then the Democrats will say, "See, we stood our ground and didn't let them show up.
We got them to go away.
They weren't
They were
gonna
never
be
there.
there in the first place."
Yeah. That's like saying they're going to protect us from wild elephants. We don't have any. See, no one died from wild elephants this year.
No.
They say they're not going to be any. So she had to send letters out. Arizona Secretary of State now, Adrian Fontes is one that got a letter. Oregon Secretary of State Tobias Reed. They're all saying, yeah, I got the letter. We're not going to have ICE this year. They've never had
ICE. Yeah.
Honey said previously endorsed claims that President Trump won the 2020. That's her background. She said, yeah, Trump won it. That's why she's assistant, because she's looking for fraud, that kind of stuff. And she participated in the call, which also included representatives of FBI, election assistance commissions, postal service, and other federal agencies to discuss coordination ahead of the midterms, which there will be oversight, but that's a statewide.
Right.
The federal can have oversight too, because they have rules that have to be enforced.
Right.
It's a state responsibility, but they have to follow federal guidelines for federal officials.
Right.
And sometimes they're different what the states are,
Yeah,
which
and
is a real confusion.
And there's several different layers of oversight at the polling places, where they're counting the ballots.
Supposed to be, but
they're not law enforcement.
No, it's political.
Yeah.
So many Democrats, so many Republicans. Yeah. But we know, like in Fulton County, the one they raided recently, they had kicked off. They said, we're closing for the evening. We're shutting it down so everybody go home. And then when the Republicans left the building, probably Democrats too, that's when they pulled stuff out from underneath. They start processing a bunch of ballots. Yeah, nothing going on here. Everybody go home, and then they spool up the counters. So, and the Democrats, the Democrats are still supporting that. Like, nothing happened. How do you know?
Right.
Well, the reason they know is they audited it and they counted it. Every time they counted it, came out signed. Well, yes, of course, because you're just counting the ballots here. You're not investigating if those ballots are legit.
Right.
And that's why they were scared to have them picked up. They're finding there might be some problems. Elisa Slotkin from Michigan said, "I'm talking about something that I think would be extraordinary in American history, which is uniformed and masked agents encircling polling places." See, they just come out and make this stuff up.
Yeah.
Like
they get an image in people's heads.
And she said, it's not a fantasy and it's not made up. See, so she just blew us out of the water. She kind of
well, I thought it was until she said that.
That's what she said. Is
yeah.
Now we need to be clear-eyed about that. These are the things that the president and his cabinet have suggested.
Unbelievable.
The Department of Justice has been filing lawsuits seeking detailed voter data, though the department has not publicly detailed a specific rationale for each request. They don't. Perhaps they have, and you haven't read it. I don't know, but they're allowed to investigate and make sure the rules are being followed.
Well, that's fine. Yeah.
Yeah. Even though it's a state function. Now, earlier this month, the FBI did a search warrant at the office in Fulton County. Now, they've gone to court many times to get that stopped and all that, and they've lost it. The courts are saying no, they're allowed.
Yeah.
They can check it.
Yeah. And if the Democrats just firmly believe nothing was bad, nothing was wrong, nothing was out of the ordinary, then they should be okay with an investigation.
Yeah.
That would prove that.
They should allow a full audit.
Yeah.
And they could be part of it even.
If somebody wanted to check on my activities, come on in.
But a full audit includes signatures, origination, and all that other stuff that were things signed.
They might be, questioning, who's going to pay for it, because there's a cost involved with that.
Well,
But
feds are paying for
the feds
this.
are paying for it, so
Yeah.
shut up. You know?
They're not going to, which it makes it suspect as far
Yeah.
as what are you hiding? I
Yeah.
mean, it doesn't mean for a fact they're hiding. I mean, there's many people that, the cops say, "Can I search your car?" You say, "No." It doesn't
No, right.
necessarily mean you're hiding.
Right.
Just means, give me a rational reason you need
Yeah.
to. And they need probable cause
Yeah.
or a search warrant,
Or your
or your permission. They can pull you over and see something in your car that gives them probable cause.
Yeah.
But if they're asking you, they don't have that.
Exactly.
Other than they think you're a creepy guy. I sense something about you that's
Yeah.
a little out kilter, man. I want to search your car. Democrats have pointed out that Trump was willing to attempt to overturn the 2020 election. Now, I don't know if you're willing to overturn it. Now, yeah, he was willing. We all are willing to overturn it if it was wrong. He
Right.
was willing to look at it. He asked the governor to find the problems because he knew from polling data and from exit data and all that something's terribly wrong. And he said, "Look at it." And they took him to court over that.
Right.
And said, "You tried to influence an election." Well, he was president, commander in chief, and asked the governor to look at it. I don't think that's turning it over. I hope not. I mean, he's allowed to do that. They can be denied and say nope, and that's what happened. But more than that happened, he says he accused him of trying to persuade me to lie or cheat or something.
And if he was trying to overturn the election, that wouldn't have done it.
No.
Just
They would have said they'd look at it.
Yeah.
And he said,
I mean, even if he was doing something nefarious and saying, I want to overturn the election if I could get Georgia wouldn't have done it by itself.
No.
So that it doesn't follow
The
logic.
reason
that
Georgia
was
came up, there was
perfect.
something wrong with the polling numbers and the way it came in, the exit polls. It didn't make sense. And he said there were extra ballots put in there. He said, "Find me those ballots." So he inferred or twisted it to say he was asking me to put more ballots in or something, which was not.
Yeah, what he said, I need 11,000 votes or something. Find 11,000 votes or something like that. I don't remember quote, but when you take something out of context,
Yeah.
it's hard to say exactly what the meaning of what you said was, and so then they can make up all kinds of meanings. But
Now-
he clearly was not. If his purpose was overturn the election, it would not have happened with that statement. So that it doesn't make sense that that's what you're
This
saying.
article goes on to say, look, that the U.S. Constitution affirms that states run the elections. All true.
Yeah.
Not federal officials. True. They already said states. You don't have to say it's not. We don't even know it's states. Most states have their Secretary of State oversee elections. All true. Participants on this call or whatever just said Democrat secretaries of state asked Honey several questions about the administration's cut to election security funding and its efforts to root out non-citizens voting, which is already illegal and rare. It's not as rare as it needs to be.
Right.
And what's wrong with saying enforce the rules?
Right.
Well, it's not that. It's rare. You don't have to do it. You can say drunk driving and killing people with drunk drivers is rare, so we're not going to look at it.
Murder is rare.
Murder is rare. We're not going to look at it. And it can make a difference because some of these rates, these rates are close. And you've got to make it feel like to the voter that it counts and it means something. There's integrity. My vote's not going to be cheated away, that it's going to count, and that there's not going to be cheating going on.
Yeah.
And they don't care about that.
Well, and we talked about this, I think, last week. When everything else fails, our country persists because voters feel like their vote matters, that they have control, and if they don't have confidence that their votes are working,
a chain of custody, cameras on, and we had in 2020 with cameras that went out. Well, we got a flood. I think it was Fulton County. Evacuate the building, but then keep counting, and there was no flood. Yeah. It's just why are people not arrested is beyond me.
Well, there's that question gets asked a lot of times for a lot of reasons.
Yeah, but they say because it's rare, we don't need to do it. It's rare because we don't do enough investigation, probably.
Well,
Because
it's always going to sneak in. I mean, we
It's
had
always gonna be someone.
an illegal alien snuck into the State of the Union address.
Yeah.
it will always happen.
But they
But
got all these Secretary of States got to have their money on the phone, what's going on. And it looks like their number one question. Are you going to have federal officers looking? No, we've never had that.
Right.
But they keep asking enough to say
To get it.
we've averted the concern.
Right. They get it into people's minds.
That's
They create
a problem, and they fix
a
it.
problem and then fix it.
Yeah, isn't that crazy? That's what's going on. It looks like Cuba killed a few people on a
Yeah, I
U.S.
was
boat.
reading about that. Yeah. The article I read suggested that the people shot at the Cuban authorities, and then the
That's
Cubans
the only
shot back.
information that we have. The only information comes from the Cubans
Russia.
themselves.
Yeah.
The Cubans.
Yeah, the article I read came from a Russian representative.
Oh, okay. Well, it was a Cuban patrol vessel.
Yeah.
I don't know if Rush was on it. And they said they approached a Florida registered boat, which was in Cuban waters. Nobody doubts that.
Right.
Doubts that. And it was like a speedboat, like a 20-footer, 21-foot speedboat with 10 people on
And yeah, the article I read said
24 foot.
it had exiles, so it sounds like Cubans that got out of Cuba and then were coming back.
it. Well, yeah. I mean, when I heard it yesterday, there wasn't an indication on who it was. Now, they talked to the boat owner that didn't know the boat was gone. It's in a slip. So he's now reported it missing. It's stolen, which is possible.
Right.
Don't know. They're going to inspect it all. But they've identified most of the people, at least the Cubans say they have. And they're not U.S. citizens.
No.
No, they're Cuban citizens.
Yeah, but I get
So far,
the first response at least was America did something to us, but yeah, they weren't American citizens.
So it's hard to know. But what the Cubans are saying is that they approached the boat, which it's in their waters. They're a Coast Guard.
They have a right
Every
to
country does
defend.
that.
Yeah.
Every country does that. And these people on the boat shot at them, wounding the captain of the Cuban patrol boat. And of course, you don't want to take a military type boat. Coast Guard's kind of a military thing, and start shooting at it.
It's generally a bad idea.
I would think so. So 4 people died, in the U.S. boat, and then others were injured, and they were taken in custody and given medical care. They took them to get medical care, but then they said everybody was armed on the boat. I was thinking, was there one guy with a gun that screwed it up for everybody? But they said there were rifles and other guns that were.
Even if it was one guy that screwed it up for everybody, okay, that's
the Coast Guard don't know. They can't see through it, see if everybody's armed. But they said they collected a lot of armaments, and Rubio is looking into it, and a lot of people are looking into it. But they're saying basically this Florida Attorney General James Olfner said he's announced on X that Cuban government cannot be trusted. Maybe true. Why do you need to say that right off the bat?
Well, yeah, but I mean, in this case, it sounds like everybody's agreeing
we agree
on what happened on the facts.
We agree that it was a boat from Florida.
Right.
We agree it was in their waters.
Yeah.
And we agree that people got shot. As far as who shot first and all that, that's the only people we get that from is the Cubans themselves.
Well,
so you want to check that out. The best way to do that is talk to the people. But we may not ever get access to talk to anybody.
Since we don't get regular reports of the Cubans shooting people in their waters, it's probably not the Cubans that shot first.
Well, we don't know. But this James Olfner, he's vowed that the office will do everything in our power to hold these communists accountable.
To what?
I don't know.
It's not an American law that they broke. They're
tell
not
you,
American citizens.
If it was a boat coming into our ports area, and the Coast Guard pulls up to check them out, and they start shooting at the Coast Guard, I'm not going to fault the Coast Guard for opening fire.
No.
If that's what happens.
But if that happened, and the Cubans were upset about it, what were they? There's a difference in the laws.
But I think
there's different jurisdiction. American laws do not apply to Cuban waters.
No.
And they're not American citizens. So
but you just can't fire other people's citizens, other people.
No.
So it needs to be investigated. And
not by us, though.
Yeah, I think we have a right to just like if we shot a boat that was from Brazil.
Brazilians would have a right to say, hey, what's up?
No, I mean, let's say they were at the Florida port.
Yeah.
And they shot at the Coast Guard, and we shot up a Brazilian boat. we would honor that
Yeah.
country and let them help investigate it and let them see what's going on.
If they were Brazilian citizens.
That's what I mean. If they're
Yeah.
Brazilian
But
citizens.
these weren't American citizens.
No, they weren't.
It's a boat that they may have stolen from
Maybe.
the United States, but
Well, then I want the boat back.
yeah, let's get the boat.
Let's get the boat back to that guy.
But it's just another example of I'm assuming this Florida Attorney General is probably a liberal guy.
Here's what
just overstepping the bounds. That we're not the global police. If
No,
did that to other
but because it
people,
involves a boat and came from Florida, we should know what's going on. We should, and do our own investigation of some kind, and hopefully get some cooperation so that we can find out, are these guys doing this a lot? Do we have is something in the United States that's doing something they shouldn't be doing, including stealing boats?
the article I read was getting into the humanitarian needs of Cuba. So
They need help.
Yeah,
They got people starving.
it suggested that the people that were coming to the people that got shot were trying to do something about about the issues in Cuba.
It's kind of hard to know at this point.
Yeah.
But here's what at least the Cuban authorities say. They said there were assault rifles, handguns, handcrafted explosive devices like Molotov cocktails, bulletproof vests, telescopic lookers. I don't know what that is. Like, does that
Maybe
mean
they
like
didn't know
binoculars?
They didn't know the word.
Is it a binocular? And camouflage uniforms were found. That's what they're saying.
Mm-hmm.
So something's going on there that we probably should be aware of if that left Florida.
Yeah.
And went into Cuban waters. We should be concerned about that.
I'd be concerned about any kind of violent activity near the border, but
Yeah.
near our
It was stolen out of Miami, so it's pretty close. You realize you're only 100 miles away from Cuba.
it's right.
It's right there.
right over the wave.
Yeah, man.
It's right.
It's just you get a tank of gas, you can make a round trip.
Yeah.
But the owner's saying, "Shoot, man, where's my boat?" And you wonder how much it got shot up.
Exactly. That's what I was thinking.
That boat may not be retrievable.
How many
at
holes
this
does
point.
it have in it?
May not be worth it to get that thing back. I don't know. Well, hopefully they find out what's going on. President Vance has been working with Rubio on it at least because it is an international concern.
Vice President Vance.
Vice President. Yeah. What did I say?
He said president. Yeah.
Oh, well,
He
Vice President.
promoted him.
Well, it had president in the name. He has to be second in line right now. And who knows about the next election?
Right.
Obviously, Vance's name will come up.
Yeah.
Rubio's name.
It's come up already. Yeah.
Yeah, Rubio's name comes up now. And they asked Vance about it. And he says, "Man, I got a job to do. You just hired me recently to do it. And I got to get this done."
Well, and that's one of the problems with our system is the election starts 2 years easy, 2 years early. Positioning yourself, getting and it's terrible for the representatives, the House. They're constantly campaigning. At least the Senate, they can say, "Oh, I'm going to take a break from campaigning for a year, maybe two," but then they have to start campaigning. It's just constant campaigning over and over and over and over.
I think what should happen,
and I'd really like to see them be able to just do their job for a while.
Here's what I'd like to see happen is in 2 years, when president has completed 2 years,
All right.
he resigns. Of course, then it'll be President Vance after he resigns, and Vance puts him on as chief of staff. I think that'd work out.
Well, it would be interesting because
Then he'd run as an incumbent.
the last couple of years of the second term, everyone knows you're not getting reelected, so they kind of start playing. What is the lame duck idea?
Maybe.
But if they switch, then you'd still be involved. You'd still be.
I don't know if anybody's ever calculated a thing like that to say, I'm just going to resign and let the vice president go for the betterment of the country, because that way he has a better chance as an incumbent running for
It's an interesting
president.
thought.
Yeah. Well, you tell me it was my idea. And that way he could actually run 2 more times.
Right.
Because you're only allowed 2 full terms, but you can run 2. You can have 2.5 if you are filling in front of somebody.
You can only be elected 2 times.
Yeah, elected 2 terms. You can finish off this term, and if it's less than half of it, then it doesn't count. It's a full term. At least that's the way I understand it.
That's how I've heard it.
That would be interesting.
That would be.
I don't know if they think that way, but maybe I'm a little more calculated. But I thought it was interesting that we have, and of course, you read the headline. I'm looking to YouTube, and the headline is "Cubans shoot at Americans."
Right.
I never believe the headlines because it's just they want to get this clickbait. Yeah, I know. Let's take a phone call. You're on the air.
Good morning, Russ.
Well, good morning, Ted.
I hear you're talking about little Vietnam down there in the Caribbean.
Yeah, Cuba. They're not doing well. They had to get some news.
So the Democrats didn't get their way in Vietnam, so now they want to do it in Cuba.
I don't know what Democrats have to do with this.
Yeah.
Storm the island.
No one's talking about.
Indigents.
No one's talking about that, are they?
Man, this is another little Vietnam they're trying to stir up.
I hope not. I don't think so. Nobody wants to do that. Right now, they're hurt, man. I mean, since the Venezuela oil got cut off, apparently there's nobody helping them. It used to be Russia for years that would be supporting them and funding them and taking care of them. They stopped that, man, back in the 90s or something. Right. And Venezuela picked up and was important because they don't really have industry.
No.
They don't have tourism for sure. They used to.
And that's their own fault.
Yeah.
They created it.
No. NAFTA needs to go down there and set up manufacturing plants in Venezuela along the border, and just there you go.
Yeah, we could set up some repair shops for vehicles. I hear they're really good at repairing the 1950s. They can repair the 1950 cars because that's all they have.
Right.
They last forever.
They certainly have in Cuba.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
like I say, they're just trying to stir up. The next thing you know, look, we'll see Jane Fonda get off a little boat on the shoreline, dressed in Vietnam gas.
I don't think. What do you really think is going to happen in Cuba? What do you really think is going to happen in Cuba?
I say we overthrow their government and take it.
No. That's never good. It's never good. I don't think so. I think the real possibility of a failure is like it's already imminent. It's there. There are people that can't eat. There are people that they need humanitarian aid, but they're a dictatorship that doesn't really let people into help. Very few anyway.
And dictatorships always end the same way with revolution. So
usually,
well, we didn't have problems with it when the mob ran it.
No,
when the mob got kicked out, like Fidel and his regime, look what happened.
The mob ran it for a while.
It was the pearl of the man. That was the most beautiful place in the Second World War. My grandfather loved going down there in the Navy,
and they were running Vegas the same way. Which Vegas is still nice because we straightened the mob out a little bit, but the mob was running things.
Yeah,
at least from what I understand, the mob had a lot.
Started it.
So they overthrew it. They took all the mob's money. They took all the mob's hotels. They took all that stuff. For what reason? Because the whole place trashed.
Remember what they called Fidel's brother, the Butcher.
Yeah.
The Butcher.
Yeah. Yeah, it's that deal. Those people, marching the streets like they do in the United States right now, like no cops, no eyes, no. Well, they did that in Cuba. They got, no mobsters, no Americans. They got what they wanted, and then they have to look around and say, what did we do?
Yeah.
We've gone from something we thought could be fixed to something that's not fixable.
Well, Fidel had one thing in mind: power. This is a power grab. They tried to make him out to be some savior of the
of course they did.
Spanish people,
the
Spaniards. That's all it was. Save the Spaniards. Save the Spaniards. No. He was a thug. His family was thugs. His brother's a thug.
Right.
They're all.
But he had to get the mobsters out of the way so he could be a mobster.
Right. Well, and even if you give him credit for having good intentions to begin with, he was in power long enough to show that he was corrupted, and now his predecessor, his successors are just as.
I don't even know the names anymore.
I don't either. No.
They just used the people that they had as slaves.
Yeah.
That's all.
Yeah.
He enslaved his own people.
This is News Talk 560 KBLU, Yuma.
What really happened off the coast of Cuba? I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. Cuba claims a speedboat full of armed Cubans who live in the U.S. were trying to infiltrate the island with terrorist intent. 4 were shot dead, 6 wounded. We're not going to take the word of the Cuban government to exactly what is going on. That's Congressman Carlos Jimenez, who himself is a Cuban American from Florida, and the Republican just told Fox Business. First of all, it wasn't a speedboat. It was from what I understand, it's a 24-foot open fisherman with a 300 horsepower engine with 10 people on it. That's not going to go very fast. And so, what were the 10 people on it doing? We don't know. Did they actually get into a gunfight with a Cuban gunboat? We don't know that either. U.S. and Iran are talking today again indirectly through a mediator in Geneva as President Trump demands they make a nuclear deal while warning he could take military action again like last year.
New satellite photos indicate Iran trying to access the 3 nuclear sites bombed by American B-2 bombers and that guided missile submarine in June as part of Operation Midnight Hammer. Iran's foreign minister says his country is not ready to give up what he calls peaceful nuclear technology. The Pentagon continues to bolster forces in the region. A squadron of 5th-generation F-22 Raptors arrived at an Israeli airbase for the first time yesterday.
Fox's Lucas Tomlinson, former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton, will be questioned next hour in a congressional investigation into the Jeffrey Epstein sex trafficking scheme. Tomorrow, former President Bill Clinton will have his deposition. Republican Pat Fallon is in the House Oversight Committee and tells Fox Bill Clinton allowed Jeffrey Epstein to visit the White House 17 times when he was president. And you know how many times Jeffrey Epstein visited the Trump White House? He never did. Democrats want more information about President Trump's appearance in the Epstein files. Now, a Kilmore Obregon Garcia update. The alleged Venezuelan gang member wrongly deported and then El Salvador that brought back is flying in court today because the human trafficking charges filed against him dropped. Americans listening to Fox News.
Hey, I'm Mike Slater. My dad passed away at the age of 63 out of nowhere. Had a stroke. Super hard, obviously, for the whole family, but my dad had life insurance. This is why I have life insurance for my wife and 4 kids. And the best way to get life insurance is ethos.com because you can do it in 10 minutes. And there's no medical exam and no blood test, just a few health questions. Get life insurance in 10 minutes so your family is protected. Ethos, E-T-H-O-S, ethos.com/Mike.
Following the attacks on 9/11/01, FDNY firefighter Daniel Foley assisted in the rescue and recovery efforts at Ground Zero. Daniel spent months and months searching for victims. Now, Daniel's death was the direct result of 9/11 related cancer. He leaves behind his wife, Carrie, and their children. Tunnel to Towers paid the mortgage on the family's home. Join us. Donate $11 a month to the Tunnel to Towers Foundation. Go to their website, the letter T, the number 2, the letter T.
From the News 11 Information Desk, I'm Nina Kimera. Customs and Border Protection agents have arrested a suspected cartel scout in the mountains of east of Yuma. Authorities say the arrest comes as part of an ongoing investigation into cartel-related human smuggling activity in the Wilson area. Yuma Sector Border Patrol agents along the air and marine operations made the arrest last Wednesday. During a search of the site, agents found food, supplies, and a solar panel, showing he was on an extended mission to monitor law enforcement. The suspect, who was 2 prior expulsions, was taken to Wellington Station and will be referred to the U.S. Attorney for prosecution and removal. Authorities say the arrest will disrupt future cartel scouting in the area. Catch it to the TV side on News 11 every weekday at 5, 6, and 10 p.m. for your
There's a man in D.C. He stands 6'3". He's fighting for you. He's fighting for me.
Hey, 60 KBL. You, Russ Clark, with you. Chris Larson.
I'm here. We got an hour left.
Well, yeah, we do. And I got a call from a listener just beating Chris up. Tells you stop drinking the Kool-Aid. You're starting to sound like a conspiracy theorist, delusional MAGA disciple. Chris, stop it.
I have no idea what he's referring to.
Regrow your backbone.
What conspiracy? My backbone is.
I don't remember. We were talking about the Coast Guard and all that.
Yeah.
Stuff. You probably said something about something positive about MAGA, and they didn't like it.
But I think
I'm not a big conspiracy theory myself.
I was thinking that the Florida guy was probably some liberal, wanting to investigate everything outside of his bounds, but
Wow.
I don't know.
Edward sent me something, the notice that was put out there.
What's that?
It looks like from Donald Trump. Statistically speaking, you're more likely to be killed by a transgender psychopath than by an ICE agent.
Hmm.
It's probably true.
Yeah, but as you said before, we don't really have any data on
We
any numbers on those.
on the transgender. Well, we do. It's just not easy to grab. It's not easy to get. You can't get it through ChatGPT or Grok or anything. You say, how many transgender killings have gone on to it?
Well, and there's so many different ways to collect up those numbers. What categories? Just a simple murder, or school shooting, or there's all kinds of different numbers out there that.
Oh no, and it wasn't. It didn't come from Trump. It came from came from a handle. Social media says Trump is my prez.
Oh
no, it wasn't Trump. I was going to say that's odd for Trump. Okay.
Yeah,
it came from Trump is my prez. Statistically speaking, you're more likely to be killed by a transgender psychopath than by an ICE agent. That's cool. I wonder if it's true. I bet it is.
And when it happened a few days ago with that kid that was his parents started transitioning him at 12, and at 18 he shot up school and stuff. It creates psychopaths,
and they weren't even trying to attack that transgender. They were just in their classroom.
Right. Yeah. But it creates a psychopath.
Right.
When you damage a person like that physically and emotionally and mentally, bad things are going to happen. So I wouldn't be surprised.
I think you're correct. I think we've done a lot of these people disservices.
Yeah, real harm.
In fact, I came up during this State of the Union.
Oh, did it?
Well,
I gotta watch it.
I'm going to ruin it for you.
Quit spoiling it.
I'm going to ruin it. Okay, I won't ruin it.
No, go ahead. Go.
Well, since we're talking about psychopath, I just want to bring up Elon Omar again.
But you were going to say, bring me up.
No, man.
Elon,
You're not a complete psychopath.
About the guest that she had that got arrested.
No, that wasn't her. That was someone else. But Elon Omar was doing a lot of shouting out at the president. Stuff like, you're a murderer. You're a liar. That kind of stuff. Along with Rashid Tlaib. They were both sitting next to each other, and they had their nice little buttons on that said "F ICE" and where they spelled the word out.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
She's the Muslim woman, right?
Yeah.
And she's
one of the
okay with-
Somalian pirates.
Okay, interesting.
And Trump called out Somalian pirates from them. He said the Somalian pirates are here ripping us off, doing fraud, that kind of stuff. So she was pretty aggressive about just screaming. And Trump did the most brilliant thing. Ignored her.
Yeah.
Just like you don't exist.
Right.
Now, Al Green got thrown out.
Right.
Right within the first minute or two. Al Green was holding up a
He had
sign
that sign. Yeah.
that said, "Black people are not apes." I'm glad we got that straight now.
Yeah. And
I don't even know where that comes from, Al. Where you got that?
What was that video that ad that they put out that a staffer made with the pictures of Obama, the Obamas on ape. And I tried to find the video because I like to go from truth.
I don't know what it is.
Right? It started as like a financial issue, and he was trying to say that people are following these ridiculous Democrats and have all these crazy ideas. And then it ended with the pictures of the Obamas on these apes. And people say, "Oh, it's racist." Well, not necessarily. If they put pictures of you and I on apes, they'd just be saying we're ridiculous and frivolous and goofy.
Yeah.
But just because the Obamas were black, automatically it's racist. So I was trying to look for the video to see what actually happened. You can't find the video anywhere. I couldn't find it anywhere. All I could find is apparently the most racist part is a still frame from the video.
Okay.
So they're not showing the video because it's racist, but we'll show you the most racist part of the video in a still frame. Well, which is it? Are you avoiding showing the racist stuff, or are you showing it? Pick one.
I don't know.
But without the context, context matters. Without the context of the whole video, you can't really make an actual judgment of what's going on.
I just thought it was a weird thing. Like, why do you go around saying they're not apes?
I agree it was bad, poor judgment on the part of that staffer that did that.
I don't know. I don't know.
But
I don't
it
remember
could have
seeing
just
it.
been, Yeah, it was like 2 weeks ago. It could have just been these people are being goofy and ridiculous and stupid like a bunch of apes, but because they're black, that's a dangerous thing to do in today's
But Al Green
media.
wanted to be removed. He probably had
Yeah.
an appointment to get to. Like, hurry up and remove me, guys. Let me make a
I don't
scene.
wanna sit here for the whole thing. Let me get out of here right
But Elon Omar, also making a ruckus, screaming,
Mhm.
ignored her.
Well, but she did have a guest that stood up
In the
and
mountain.
was told to sit down, and she wouldn't, and so she was arrested. And so that's another so she's
Yeah,
complaining about that too.
they'll escort you real quickly up there,
Well,
I'm sure.
but yeah, they
That's easier than down on the floor.
Yeah, yeah.
Less of a scene.
So she was
Mhm.
hitting on both sides, with her own streams and
But
with her
but she's interviewed
guests.
the next day by Wolf Blitzer,
Okay.
CNN.
That's such a cool name.
And Wolf mentions to her, and he says, "Look, Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries
Yeah.
asked members of his caucus to either sit in silence or should not attend. Should you have just boycotted the address? And do you think you violated the guidelines set by your own leader?"
Mm.
Good question by
Yeah.
Wolf Blitzer, and I'm telling you, he doesn't normally have stuff I agree with. But she says, "No, I think it was really unavoidable. The president talked about protecting Americans, and I just had to remind him that his administration was responsible for killing 2 of my constituents." Of course, she's talking about the ICE agent that had the lady in the car that was running
Right.
at the ICE agent, and the other guy that had a gun. That gun went off, and he was resisting and all that. They didn't, they had to do what they didn't know where it was coming from. But that'll all go to court and whatever. And I think those guys have, acted appropriately according to training and protocols and
Yeah,
everything they
well,
should be doing.
the car one, the good, that I don't think they're not investigating that. They're like, "No, we can clearly see on the videos who's driving towards them."
Well, I think
But the other one, they are investigating. They're like, yeah, it happened so fast, and so they are investigating.
Well,
But in both cases, they're following policy. They're
Yeah,
following
they're following
protocols. So
And, those guys put themselves in dangerous places, fighting, resisting arrest. I mean, the lady in the car she's
Well,
told,
and then
"Get out of the car, you're under arrest."
and then the bystanders add to the chaos with all their
Oh,
whistleblowing.
blowers and all that stuff.
You're not helping.
They make a very dangerous job
Yeah.
more dangerous.
Yeah.
So Omar says, "I think it was unavoidable." What do you mean unavoidable? You can't control yourself.
That was my first thought when you
It's
said that.
unavoidable. It's like talking to your kids. "Well, you shouldn't have done that." "I had to."
Yeah. Well,
Yeah,
and
you
my
had to do
wife
that.
was like, "Why did they do that?" Because they're children.
Yeah.
That you can at least justify a child's, irresponsible behavior by saying, "Well, they're
Yeah,
children."
'cause their brain's not.
You shouldn't be doing that
Yeah.
for an adult.
Listen.
An adult an adult who says, it's unavoidable is saying, "I can't control
But
myself."
if that's the way she feels, it's unavoidable. She shouldn't go
She
to
shouldn't
another
be,
one.
yeah.
She shouldn't be there. It says, "Do you have any regrets about the interaction we played between you and President Trump just last night?"
No.
She says, "I do not think many people look at that moment when the president says it's our responsibility to protect Americans, and he does not acknowledge the fact that 2 Americans, 2 of my constituents, 2 of our neighbors are killed. And it's important for me just to remind the American people that the president and his administration was responsible for killing 2 American citizens." Like, right in the middle of a speech,
Right.
you gotta tell them that, right? I
Well
mean, that's just ridiculous. I mean, that's a ridiculous comment.
he asked if she regrets it. No, because now she gets more attention.
Yeah,
She's
she
certainly
doesn't.
not
We're
gonna
even
regret
giving it to her.
Yeah.
Well, Blitzer pushed more and said, "Well, hindsight in mind," and all that stuff. She says, "I brought 4 Minnesotans up as guests for the Minnesota delegation. It was important for us to be there, to bear witness, to hold space for our constituents that have lived through an occupation from federal law enforcement, that have been terrorized, that have seen our neighbors being killed and traumatized in so many ways. And so, no, I think it was really important for my constituents to see me there," screaming and yelling at the president. When
As
that
long
starts
as
becoming totally acceptable, we're out of control.
Well, she was honest. She thinks it's important that her constituents see her.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, you gotta
that's
see me stand up. I'm for
that's
you.
it. Yeah.
It was really important to my constituents to hear I was reminding the president that Renee Good and Alex Preddy were killed under his administration. Well, maybe the president should have gone through the list of all the illegals that killed
Right.
people and what their names were.
Well,
I mean,
and
he went
she
through a few.
she didn't mention the guy that got shot in the leg that, didn't die.
Yeah.
So apparently, you're only important to her if you do die.
I guess. Trump called for critics like Omar and Tlaib to be put on a boat and send them back to where they came from. I don't know about Tlaib. I mean, I know Elon Omar is a naturalized citizen.
Is she?
Yeah, from Somalia. Now, whether or not she got that legally or not, it's a question. Well, if you lie on your application,
Right.
like some people say, because she married her brother, but that wasn't to help her get citizenship. It was to help him get citizenship, which is still illegal.
She
But
married
it
her
won't.
brother?
She married her brother.
That's weird. What are they, Targaryen?
Yeah, it's a tight family. It's yeah, she married her brother. You don't know that?
No.
That's pretty common.
She's
Common
I don't know much
common
about
knowledge.
anyone from Minnesota. So
Yeah. Yeah, she married her brother. Her second marriage was to her brother.
Huh. Because I'm gonna be Googling that later.
And then they got divorced.
Huh.
I guess it didn't work out.
Or they realized we're siblings.
Yeah.
That's not
No, they knew. They knew. But if you lie or cheat to become a citizen, then that
It can
paperwork
be
can be rejected,
Yeah.
even after.
But even if you didn't lie or cheat, if something else comes up, there's different situations in which they can take your naturalized
I don't think that's an easy thing to do.
It's not easy.
I don't think it's easy. You know, you can be a felon, you can do a lot of things. You're not going to lose your citizenship.
Right. But there are ways that they
Okay.
that
I
they
don't know what that is. I mean, other than I know if you
if you
cheat
lie.
on getting here and lie about it,
Yeah.
that could undo it.
And that's legit. Yeah. You should do
There's a millionaire, the guy that invented the squatty potty. Squatty
Yeah.
potty man.
Yeah.
His name's Robert Bobby Edwards. He's 50 years old, just arrested for buying and receiving countless images. I don't know how much. I sure they counted them, so it's not really countless.
Right.
Countless images of sexual abuse material between March of 21 and November of 25. That's according to the U.S. Attorney's District Office of Utah, announced on Monday. So the federal
Wow.
grand jury on February 10th indicted him, and on February 12th, he was arrested in Washington County, Utah.
Huh.
So he pleaded not guilty, but they took his cell phone, and they found that it said 4 years later, in May of 25, FBI agents said they found the squatty potty founder allegedly bought more child sexual abuse material. They've been following it on his online payment account. He's been paying for this
Wow.
stuff. On November 4th of 25, law enforcement executed a search warrant on Edwards' home, where investigators said they found a cell phone in his vehicle that contained multiple videos, images of sexual abuse, child sexual abuse material. Good Lord. Someone downloaded it on cell phone just 2 weeks before the search warrant was executed.
Wow.
Also found images of child sexual abuse material at his house. Now, he was a squatty potty founder in 2011, but now they sold that business in 2012. No, in 2012, the Edwards family, they were featured in their invention. They featured their invention on the Shark Tank.
Okay.
2 years later, on the doctors did it on 2 years later, they did it on the Shark Tank.
Right.
And they got $12.3 million in sales in 3 months after the Shark Tank appearance. So they became millionaires.
Yeah.
He did. He's a squatty potty millionaire.
It's a good idea.
It's a good idea. Well, he was told about it by a doctor. There's some constipation thing going on in there. He said,
Yeah.
well, here's how you get rid of it. And it was raise your legs up or something. There's a place to put. He said, that's a great idea. In fact, we invented a squatty potty.
Yeah. Well, I had to replace one of our toilets a while back because the tank cracked, and all the toilets available were higher than the one we have.
Yeah.
And it was uncomfortable. I didn't like it.
It's not always
So
good.
I don't. I use
So you get a
different
squatty
now.
potty thing.
Yeah. Well, I told my wife, I was like,
It's a
I
footstool.
can put a little platform around it to raise the feet up.
That's what a squatty potty is.
Yeah, essentially.
But they sold 12 million in 3 months.
It's a good idea, and it's
Well-
just crazy that this guy.
Now, here's the rub that this
I don't
guy.
understand why anyone does that. In the first place.
It's
just-
kind of horrible.
Yeah.
And now this guy's got squatty, and all the headlines are the squatty potty
Squatty
millionaire.
potty. Yeah, I just
So-
Googled it, and it was a whole bunch of them.
Yeah. So
Not his name, just the squatty
squatty potty guy. It's like saying the pillow guy. You know,
Yeah.
My Pillow.
My Pillow guy.
Yeah, so he's a Squatty Potty guy. I'd rather be a My Pillow guy than a Squatty Potty guy. It's just something to really hang your name on. Yeah, I'm famous for Squatty Potty.
Well,
Yeah.
he's famous for something else now.
Yeah. Well,
Wow.
here's the problem. The company was sold out. He sold his company in 21 to Ethereum Incorporated.
Uh-huh.
And now those guys are panicking. Because all the headlines saying Squatty Potty guy,
Right.
pervert. What's that going to do to Squatty Potty sales?
Right.
Well, they put out all claim. They
statement.
said, "Look, we deeply disturbed by the incident against Edwards. The nature of these allegations is abhorrent and wholly inconsistent with our company's values." Well, I don't know why you have to state that, but it's
Well,
good that you
because
do.
they're not using his name.
It's
They're
against our
using
policies.
Squatty Potty.
Illegal activity with molesting children is against our policies. I want to see the policy.
Is that actually written?
Yeah, did you really write that in there? So while the family was previously referenced on our website as a historical context, we have removed those references. They have no role in our brand's present or future. Tyrion remains committed to the mission of Squatty Potty, improving digestive health for our customers. So they're going to take a hit.
Yeah. Did the statement end with, and please stop saying Squatty Potty in
No,
addition to this story?
no. So now all these headlines are say Squatty Potty millionaire.
Yeah.
And they're going to go. And they were the ones that had a digestive problem now.
Yeah.
Because they're sick.
Yeah.
They're saying, like, what's that going to do? We're going to be like Bud Light.
Yeah.
Well, this guy that's doing all this stuff has no connection to Squatty Potty now, other than
Not anymore. No.
he had the idea. What a terrible thing for
Yeah.
Squatty Potty. I mean, I'm not too concerned about Bobby Edwards.
No.
He's going to get, justice maybe. But it's too bad. It's too bad that this company.
Well, and
about his business
there's
is
so
going to
many
be.
times when people are, do something that's good and beneficial and everything
Yeah.
else,
Yeah.
and then we find out this terrible dark side to them, and you just ruined everything.
But if you invent something really, really good, people tend to put up with more. Like Michael Jackson, he wrote Thriller, so I'm going to put up with him a little bit, which is wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Michael Jackson, the guy wrote Thriller.
Yeah. Free pass.
Yeah, it's just a few kids.
But that whole thing, I just can't comprehend it.
No. That's really stomach turning.
Yeah.
Terrible.
I
And
mean, it's so bad. When when you read fiction and things like that, movies, the bad guys are doing this, but this is so bad. We never even have movies or books where the bad guys are doing that.
Yeah.
It's just too bad.
you got guys that volunteer their time to help
Right.
kids, to help people. And then you got these guys that destroy children. It does.
Yeah.
Now maybe all they did was put a lot of money into the pockets of those that are willing to do it for money.
But
It's the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Supporting it. Man, just unbelievable.
And even not giving money to it, the ones that just share it. Oh, I didn't buy it. I just shared it. I didn't pay anyone.
But if that's something
you're still elevating the practice.
If that's something that's in his psyche as being something that I'm interested in, I don't think he's safe in public.
Well,
But
for most of the public is adults, so they're safe.
well, he might run into a
Yeah.
child here and there. That is just scary. Scary stuff.
I don't.
But it's not Squatty
real.
Potty. He's not. They sold that.
Yeah. Yeah. It's not Squatty Potty. Let's make that clear
I'll be
to everybody.
I'll be interested to see what happens with that company now.
Yeah.
There's.
Think they'll change
I don't
the
know if it's publicly traded. We can find that one out.
Yeah.
It's publicly traded. Was that thing hurt?
What was the name of the company? Atura or something?
Ethereum. Aterian Incorporated. So maybe they're publicly traded. You can find out if maybe you can buy some stock. Maybe it's down.
Yeah.
We should ask Edward on that. He's the investment guy. Would you invest in the parent company for Squatty Potty at this point?
It is traded.
It is public traded?
Yep.
And is it up or down?
I don't have that. I just
Yeah.
or if it is.
Yeah, I'm sure it's one of those things that it's going to make some people nervous just because the name associated. Because every headline says Squatty Potty Millionaire.
Right.
It doesn't say Bobby Edwards. You know, it
Well,
does
it
eventually.
doesn't say Tyrion either, but
No, but it says Squatty Potty, and that's their name brand. You know, not the name of their company, but the name brand.
they're bearish. I'm not sure what that means. I think that's a good.
It means I kind of hold on to it or something. But that may have been done. You know, that's an article
Yeah, there's nothing immediately about the
company.
This effect.
All right. Let me take a break, and we'll be right back. AM 560.
Sunny skies, a high of 95 this afternoon. North wind at 10 to 15, clear and 65 tonight. Sunny at 97 tomorrow. North wind at 10 to 15, 64 and clear on Friday night. And more warm weather on Saturday, partly cloudy and 98.
To be a part of Russ's show, call 928-344-5258. That's 928-344-5258.
I'm always looking for ways to save, whether at the grocery store or with my monthly expenses. So when I learned that the best way to reduce my APS bill is to be on the right plan, I checked my plan comparison and found the one that could have saved me the most. If only everything was that easy.
Are you looking for an easy way to save? Let's talk about rate plan options. Check the monthly plan comparison on your bill and online, or give us a call. Learn more at aps.com/let's talk.
Listen to KBLU from 8 to 9 every Monday morning to Life, Death, and the Law. Sean Garner and Adam Hansen discuss estate planning options. Learn how you can plan your estate using a will or trust to protect your family and secure your legacy. That's Life, Death, and the Law every Monday, 8 to 9 a.m. on 560 KBLU.
AM 560 KBLU. Russ Clark back with you. Chris
I'm here.
And I got a caller. You're on here.
Yeah, I'd like to make an announcement for the 5th annual Corvette show that we're going to have February the 28th, this Saturday, from 8 a.m. to 12 noon at the old Sears parking lot.
Okay.
And it's open to the public. It's free. And if you have a Corvette, bring your Corvette and show your Corvette.
Wait a minute. If it's free, do I really want to go? Okay, I do. I do.
Well, I don't know. Hey, you like Corvettes?
I
you tell
do.
me.
Yeah. I am a big fan. So
All the way from C1s all the way to C8. So we got them all.
I like the C2s.
new stuff. I love new tech.
Yeah.
I do.
We might let you drive one.
Ooh.
Go ahead, tell me. All right. That's
I
in
gotta find the guys who allow that to happen.
that's in 2 days, man. Right there in
Okay.
the old Sears parking lot. Appreciate the call. Thank you, buddy.
All right, take care.
All right, bye-bye.
And afterwards, you can go out to Fisherman Landing's.
Well,
for
here's
the,
my
cook-off, the rib cook-off.
Where's my problem? I've got to be at Fisher's Landing by 10. I'm actually doing the MC work.
Well, you can get to the Corvette at 8. And
Yeah.
then
Well,
leave at like 9.
I'd have to drive the Corvette to get there in a hurry.
Yeah, I Googled the time for the Fisher's Landing, the cook-off, because I didn't remember hearing you guys say it. It's from noon to. It's not on the flyer.
Okay.
It's from noon to 5.
Yeah.
So now we have.
But they'll be there
whole
doing stuff. I mean, the
Yeah,
DJ will be
the-
running it so that by 10 o'clock they'll be up and running all that and a lot of. But you won't have the ribs ready until noon.
So you can do the Corvette 8 to 12. and
No,
then you
I
can
got to
do-
be there. In
Not
time.
you personally.
I can't do it. Yeah, you can do it in the public. You can do it.
From 8 to 12, you do the Corvettes, and then
I mentioned
12
it.
to 5, you do the rib cook-off.
Then my fact checker Edwards, the one that looks at different stock market and stuff. He's an investment guy.
Mm-hmm.
So he sent it to me real quick. So he was listening this morning, which means he's not paying enough attention to work. Ethereum,
Well, some things are more important.
it is down for the year 19.31%. It's worth 58 cents a share, so it's a penny stock type stuff. But it didn't show any drastic hits within the last few days at all because of this
Well, that's
story and all that.
I'd hate for people to be losing
No.
their livelihood over
I mean,
that.
it's down year to date, but it's not a
Good.
high value stock. It's not like buying, Tesla, something like that. Let me see. Let me see the max.
While you're looking that up, the other event this weekend is the brew and barbecue. So you could be
I could be eating all the time.
yeah. There's plenty of time in the day to hit everything.
It looks like they hit an
Could be a good
all-time
week.
high back in 21 or so.
That's when they bought the Squatty Potty.
Yeah. And they hit a 521.46.
Oh, wow.
They're down 99.43%
From
since
there.
then.
Oh.
So I guess Squatty Potty was a big hit.
Yeah.
Came out booming, threw their stock up crazy like Tesla, and went from $406 to 58 cents.
Oh.
And it looks like they got, by 2022 they were down. I mean, they had a real spike at one time. And it's like everybody ran out and bought Squatty Potty, and they didn't even buy another one.
Well, you don't
I
need
don't
to.
know. I don't know what all
That's
they do,
interesting.
but yeah, we went, wow. Now, see, Edward probably made a lot of money on them. He probably, sold short at 406. Who knows?
I would hope so.
Edward knows. Edward pays attention to that stuff. Not I.
That's
mean,
a full-time job, just keeping track of things like that.
Yeah. Well, he wrote me a whole thing on it that it's not not sold by, it's a Tyrion and all that kind of stuff, which required the brand 21. Well, it looks like it just went gangbusters after acquired it and then took a nosedive afterwards. It's a penny stock. He would not invest in it. He doesn't play with those.
No.
I don't think so. No. Now, it'd been cool to buy way back before it hit $400.
Right. And that's the appeal of those penny stocks. You can get, a new company, get it dirt cheap, and then if it takes off, great. If it doesn't, you didn't lose much. So
Net revenue was 19 million in 25. Gross profit was 10 million. Operating loss 2 million. Doesn't sound like an investment for me.
No.
So they've got some reorganization to do.
Yeah. This Squatty Potty thing might actually be good for them, get some attention to the company, and maybe that'll turn things around. But
Yeah.
you never know how these things go.
No, I don't pay enough attention to it.
Well, and people think, oh, the stock market, you just put your money in and then wait.
They've got 17 million in inventory.
Yeah, you really have to pay attention when you're doing stock market money.
Wow.
Did you see a movie, was it Dumb Money or something like that, about the whole GameStop situation?
No.
It was cool. It was a good movie, just as a movie. But they showed these day traders that that's their job. They sit in front of the computer, all day. They give themselves a shift, and they're watching all this data coming in, and they're responding to it, immediately. It's a lot of work to do that.
Oh, a lot of people lost everything doing
yeah,
it. So. Let's take a phone call. You're on the air.
Hey, Russ, how y'all doing?
I'm doing well, OG. Good morning.
Listen, when they say Wall Street is buying up private homes, you know who they're talking about, right?
Who's that?
Well, no. I mean, I know there's businesses that do that for a living. They do that.
No, well, I didn't say businesses now. I said Wall Street.
All right. What are they talking?
Wall Street is where the stock market is located.
Right.
Well, the Purple Gang, they went legal, and they're the ones that moved to Wall Street. It's an alley, and they created, I guess, the stock market. Anyway, they're the ones that's buying up the homes, and that's the ones that Trump went after and said no more.
Right, he did. He wants to put a limit on businesses that can buy residential homes. I think 5 or something.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. Okay. That being said, Ruben Gallego, or whatever his damn name is.
You got it.
Yeah. Okay. He wants to raise the minimum wage in Arizona to $20. Did you see that?
I did not, but and just when I thought there wasn't anything else he could do that would make me like him less, But okay, I like him less now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Russ, they need to get out of private sector's way of labor. The government does not belong in labor. When they get involved, that's communism, not Russ.
I know.
That's the eighth plank of the Communist Manifesto. That's
Yeah.
labor. And when they come on the top of it and want to raise it, that's the worst thing can happen. It's supposed to be, it's whatever the market will bear.
Correct.
For instance,
Correct.
I washed dishes when I was 16 years old for a soda fountain for 25 cents an hour.
Right.
They couldn't pay no $20 an hour and shut them down. Yeah. I wish you'd talk more about this stuff because you've got 59% of the workforce that are working and paying and carrying the load. That my math says that's 41% that's living home with mom and dad and sucking up the fruits of life.
Wow.
And that 3.5% unemployment is the ones that are applied for employment compensation. That's all they count.
Right.
Now, when they said 4.5%, it went up to 4.5%. That's because Trump fired about 2 million federal workers. But those guys went and got private sector jobs. Now this pays more than the government jobs.
Yeah.
And the Democrats are still lying. Did you see Spanberger's reply?
No.
Did you see what she did the day one in Virginia?
Yes.
Well, I made a remark and nobody understands it because I said she showed up for tea and she gave him a copy of the Communist Manifesto. Is what I said. Because she wants to tax you for walking your freaking dog if you pay.
She likes taxes.
Well, that's what they're about. The Democrats. Folks, if you vote Democrat, don't be amazed if you're going to be back in the boat where you were with taxes. Trump wants to also eliminate income tax. Did you hear him in the speech?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right? You see, this property tax crap is a carryover from King Edward, guys. That the monarchies own 89% of Canada. I talked to Canadians, and they don't even know that. They don't own it. Yes, I know. Just go look it up. But 89%, so they don't have to pay property tax on 89% of the land in Canada. But they will charge property tax on 11%. But that's left over peasants to live on. Because that's how the monarchy views you. You're a peasant. You're not a citizen.
Yep.
I'm trying to tell it like it is. You're not a citizen of England if you're not in the monarchy. You're a freaking peasant. Just look it all up. That's what monarchies are about. Peasants and royalty.
Right.
You don't see a peasant army. You see a royal army, royal air force. You don't see a peasant air force. But the Royal Air Force is made up of a freaking bunch of peasants. And they're so damn stupid they don't even know it, Russ.
No, some people want to be led, OG. They don't want liberty.
I know. But anyway, I just had to say that. But you have a great day,
You
Russ.
too, sir. Take care. Bye-bye. So Edward sent me something because he just right away, sent me the article about Gallego.
Okay.
It's not just for Arizona; it's for the whole country.
Oh, really?
He's federal, so because he doesn't have anything to do with state. Our state already has a law that makes it $15 an hour.
Right.
But the federal government, I think, is still 7.25.
It is, yeah. And people keep saying, "Oh, we got to raise it." For most of the country, the states already have a higher minimum wage.
There shouldn't be a minimum wage at this point. The marketplace will take care of it. It just will.
Yeah.
He introduced the Give America a Raise Act because I guess he wants to destroy the entire country. But that kind of nonsense of controlling all that and doing all that would be just devastating to what we're suffering in Arizona a little bit too. And getting a job in a restaurant now for kids, man, we're going more automation.
Right.
Like you try to go to McDonald's and find somebody to give you service, it's going to be tough. You just go to the board and order it yourself, on a self check-in, self checkout, and all that stuff. So he's presented Give America a Raise, which seeks to increase the federal minimum wage to $20 an hour within 3 years. He emphasized the need for a living wage. No one wants to work full time should live in poverty. Well, we just discussed that.
Well, and
Poverty's always going to exist.
yeah, it's always
If everybody, and why $20 an hour? Why not 40? Why not? Let's give them a bonus and make it $50 an hour. And then they'll say, well, people can't afford that. They can't afford 20, guy.
Well, and I just Googled the highest minimum wage in the country right now is Washington, D.C. at $17.95 an hour.
Yeah.
So for them, it wouldn't be much to move it up to
Yeah.
$20 an hour.
But
For
yeah.
us, it would be, $5, raising it from 15 to 20, that's a 33% increase. That's huge. And there's other states where it is the $7.50 minimum.
Sure.
And raising it up to 20, over doubling
Right.
in 3 years would be insane. You'd kill every business.
But if you're living out somewhere in the middle of Oklahoma and all of a sudden you get $20 an hour,
Woo!
man, you're moving on up.
It just demonstrates he has no idea what he's talking about.
He's trying to get elected president. And
Yeah.
He's trying to motivate a base.
Yeah.
Saying stupid.
Yeah. And the minimum wage is only helpful to the lowest income people for a little while, because the middle income people, they don't get a raise when the minimum wage goes up. So they actually lose money, because while the minimum wage goes up, prices go up to pay for this minimum wage. So the people that are not at the bottom end up losing money for a while until eventually it all balances out. That's what the economy does. That's what the free market does. Things balance out. And then everybody's back in the same situation they were in before. Some businesses have lost business. Some people, some have closed. Some people have lost a job. But overall, everything just ends up the same place it was before. So it's not a fix that people think it is. And it's just arbitrarily saying $20 an hour across the country is insane. Just another reason not to like this.
The stuff Edward sent me says Ruben Gallego is worth $121,000. I think that's $121.5 thousand. Yeah.
That's it?
That's it.
I think I might be worth that much.
I don't know. I've seen your truck. It's got to be worth at least that. But during when he was running,
he's not using his
insider trading abilities.
Yeah.
He's got that. He's
another failure by him.
You need to get on the Nancy Pelosi program.
He's just failing as a senator left and right.
Yeah, you should work that out. Let me see. I've got Hillary's going to be in meetings today. Yeah, he's getting investigated by the House Oversight Committee.
Yeah, and they've been complaining for weeks that if you want to ask me questions, do it publicly. Don't do it in private.
It's all private.
Just say it publicly. If you want to get your word out there publicly, say it. You don't have to have somebody ask you. You can just speak. And after they ask you questions privately, you can come out and say it publicly. You have complete control.
I hate to break this to you, but she doesn't really want it public.
No, I agree. Yeah.
Okay, so she's not out there just telling everybody everything.
Right.
And if somebody asks her a question, she's hoping they don't hit the hard ones.
Right.
That's all. But she's going to get some
as long
questions.
as it's private, she can complain, "Oh, you don't want me to speak publicly," even though she can speak. And then she makes them look like the bad guy.
And all it's going to have to do with Epstein, Jeffrey Epstein.
Right.
Which Hillary had some working knowledge or whatever, as well as Bill. And we'll talk about that. But it's going to take place in about 15 minutes.
Oh, is it?
It's in Chappaqua.
Okay.
Up in there, which I thought, wait a minute. How could it be in Chappaqua? Well, I guess that was part of negotiations. Like, they weren't going to come, Yeah. So they got to the negotiations. The negotiation was, you come to my home.
They're getting old now. They don't want to travel.
Good Lord. So Chairman James Comer, who heads up the House Oversight, is going to be there along with 10 House Republicans on the committee. They're all going to show up. Now, I doubt if it's at her house, but it's going to be in her town. But I don't know. It doesn't say.
They got a big enough house.
But it's going to be closed door.
Mm-hmm.
It's all closed door.
All right.
But I thought they wanted it closed door.
No. The Clintons are saying, no, let's do it publicly.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah. And my point is, do it publicly. You don't, they can ask the questions privately, but you can make a public statement.
Bill Clinton's going to be tomorrow. So you got all these guys up there,
Mm-hmm.
including, that's 10 Republicans. There could be Democrats too. 10 Republicans are going to be up there.
The Chappaqua
At least, they say.
hospitality industry is going to have a nice,
Yeah, they're going to have some
nice
hotel
weekend.
rooms and stuff,
Yeah.
and probably some meeting rooms and stuff. On Wednesday, Comer said that the first couple's testimony is critical to understand Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell's sex trafficking network and the ways they sought to curry favor and influence to shield themselves from scrutiny. And I just think it's damning to say, well, it's important to talk to them because that we know more about the sex trafficking.
All right.
Does that tell you that Bill and Hillary know about sex trafficking?
I don't think we're going to get it.
I don't know.
Because, Bill and Hillary are not stupid.
We might get a lot of Fifth Amendment.
They're not going to say anything incriminating. They're not going to
Well, they will.
They'll lie.
They'll say, I did not have sex with
And
that woman.
Yeah.
Monica Lewinsky.
When he did that, he was so believable.
Yeah.
And I did not believe him when he admitted it. He didn't sound, credible when he admitted it.
Buddy.
But man, he could lie.
If it weren't for that blue dress, Monica Lewinsky would already be buried in a trailer park somewhere. That one changed everything.
Well, and everyone forgets about what that Whitewater or whatever it was, where their assistant,
real estate type
died
stuff.
or something.
Yeah.
There's some shady stuff that went on with them. What was it, Slick Willie? Nothing stuck to him.
Their testimonies may inform how Congress can strengthen laws to better combat human trafficking. Our goal for this investigation is straightforward. We seek to deliver transparency and accountability for the American people and survivors. Well, they're also looking to see if Hillary Clinton and Bill Clinton stepped over the line and did something illegal.
And I don't think they did.
I don't know.
But yeah, if they
didn't think he did Lewinsky.
No, I did think it. But he really delivered that lie well.
Yeah.
But if they can get information about the ways that people moved to, that Epstein, moved through the different spheres of influence and stuff like that. Okay, yeah, that could be good information to have for future
Do you
investigations.
know why the Clintons agreed to do this?
They didn't so much.
They
were
agreed. They had
compelled.
to agree. Well, compelled, yes. It was an arm twist.
Yeah.
And the House committee was going to subpoena them. I mean, they did subpoena them. Yeah, but they were going to lock them up.
Yep.
And the Clintons agreed just a few days before the full House vote was expected to move forward on that.
Mm-hmm.
Which, people went to jail in the Trump administration that refused to testify. So they were going to join that crowd. They said, nah, we'll go ahead and testify. What we got to do is just say the fifth all day, I'm not going to say anything. One person, a Republican's complaining about this whole thing.
Okay.
Tim Burchett out of Tennessee. He says, I don't know why the heck we didn't bring them here. If you got to go to if you got in trouble or I got in trouble, guess what? We'd be here and we'd be in chains. We'd be dragging us in. Having them up in Chappaqua to me is an insult to the public. I realize they got a deal cut, but it's not a deal I would have cut. That's hilarious.
Yeah.
I agree with him. I mean, why are we taking all the Congress to Chappaqua and paying for all that stuff when they've got a nice place set up in D.C. where they just walk in and just sit down and talk? We've got the buildings. We own them.
Yes.
And then it would be one plane trip or two people taking a plane trip instead of a whole army.
Because none of the rest of us are former presidents with a lot of money.
I guess.
Well, not just former presidents, but former Secretary of State.
Something about Epstein, and I haven't studied the thing. I really haven't. All these files being released.
Just what comes out in the news.
Now, a lot of people are saying, "Well, Trump's been mentioned. Trump's mentioned."
Yeah,
all true. Epstein hated Trump, so he was mentioned a lot because he knew that Trump turned him in. Mm-hmm. He knew that Trump kicked him out of Mar-a-Lago.
Right.
So yeah, he was mentioned, but they make it sound like he was, seeing kids underage or something.
I don't.
No, he was mentioned a lot, and a lot of the stuff I read, it said, will say something like, "Well, Trump and Clinton are both mentioned." Yeah, but for different reasons.
Yeah,
he didn't hate Clinton.
All right,
and Clinton, according to Trump, had 28. He was in Epstein Island 28 times.
Really?
According to Clinton, he was there 0. Now, one of them was going to be off by 28.
Well, it could
one
be
of them.
13 times or 14 times.
Yeah, well,
somewhere in
So I always thought there was an admission that Clinton was in Epstein Island. No, just Trump says you were there
I think
28 times.
didn't Maxwell say that Trump had been to the island?
No,
I think that's
no one's ever accused him of being in the island, to my knowledge. I've never heard of that. And he says, no, and he doesn't. I just woke the dog up.
Mhm.
But Bill claims he was never there. But Virginia Gifford, she was one of the victims.
Right.
She says, "Yeah, I met Clinton at the island in 2011." Well,
But she,
don't know.
she died by suicide, so nobody can
Don't know.
verify with her anymore.
Yeah, and she's, I think, also the one that said, Trump was the good guy. He was the guy that was like, I'm not going to. It's not anything I'm interested in. Get out of here. In fact, you're barred from Mar-a-Lago. Now, and he did that before. He did that in 2002.
Right.
Epstein was arrested and convicted in 2006 or 8, something like that, out of Florida on sex with children charges.
Right.
He was arrested. Well, this and Clinton was seen in 2011, which would have been after the fact, according to this lady.
Well, and
He says he was never there.
Well, and they have all these emails and stuff of people that continued communication with him after he had been convicted.
Yeah.
And it was a known thing. But I haven't seen them bring up all these mentions. There's mentions of Trump, but I haven't seen anyone bringing up these emails after that. After that event,
I haven't followed enough.
When he said he cut off ties,
What
he
Bill
cut off,
Bill did, or
no, Trump.
Trump did in 2002.
Yeah, but he cut off ties.
But he was
and that
mentioned.
was it.
He was mentioned.
Oh, he's mentioned, yeah. But when Trump says he cut off ties, he cut off ties. But all these other people say, "Oh, yeah, we cut off ties," and then we find these emails where they didn't.
Or plane rides and all this other stuff. Whoopi Goldberg was apparently a friend of Epstein, kept begging for rides on the plane and stuff. A lot of emails on that. But I don't know if she's involved in any of those. I don't know.
I doubt it. There's a. It was all about powerful people being powerful with each other.
I hope nobody is.
And there were going to be some. And this whole Prince Andrew thing.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah,
he was
I would say
in deep trouble.
I don't think Trump had anything to do with the child sex issues. I don't think Clinton had anything. But Prince Andrew, he's kind of a creepy looking dude.
I don't trust Clinton.
I don't know. Maybe
I don't trust Clinton, but who knows? I have no idea. Robert Garcia, Democrat out of California, says he's the top Democrat on that committee. He says, we have a good group going up to New York City, so we're going to have a bunch too. I think that anyone that has information about Jeffrey Epstein or spent any time with him, I think it is important to ask questions. I mean, personally, I think one of the things that we've been hearing a lot about lately is whether Epstein had any sort of foreign ties, whether there was any sort of wealth of foreign governments. Of course, when he says it's important to talk to anybody that knew him personally, he means Trump. We'd love to get Trump in there. Both sides largely accuse the other of politicizing the probe. Democrats have accused the Republicans of trying to create a narrative that persecutes figures on the left because they're trying to attempt to clear President Donald Trump. The Republicans argue that Democrats are using the investigation to purposely target the sitting commander-in-chief, which they are. They keep saying, yeah, he's mentioned. Okay.
But there's nothing saying.
Because Epstein hated him. Okay. They did. If there's something different, by all means, bring it up, dude. And
actual evidence. But even with mentions, there's no mention of him doing anything.
No. To children
or illegal in any way.
No. And if there was, Biden would have released it.
It would have been out there. Yeah.
Now, this is something I read a lot in all these articles. Trump and Clinton both have appeared numerous times in the Epstein files. They just keep trying to lump them together like they're the same.
Well, that way they can say they're not picking sides.
As far as I know, Trump has never dated Lewinsky.
Yeah.
As far as I know. But and it says, well, so far, they're not known to have had a relationship with the late pedophile before his federal investigations. But see, it says federal investigations. Clinton continued relationship with him after the state prosecution and conviction.
Oh, really?
Of pedophile. Yeah.
Didn't know that.
But they put the story out there. It says, well, no one's had any meetings with him since the federal investigation. Well, that's true.
because he.
But that's not the story. I'll be back. I'm going to take a break. AM 560.
March 6th through the 8th, it's the 33rd annual Midnight at the Oasis. An entire weekend of food, entertainment, and hundreds of classic cars and trucks. With the rally on Main Street, Thursday evening, March 5th. Friday, the gates open at noon for the show and shine, and at 4:30, hundreds of the cars will be cruising to Yuma from Cocobon Casino. It's the 33rd annual Midnight at the Oasis. An entire weekend of food, entertainment, and hundreds of classic cars and trucks.
A Great American RV Roadshow Super Sale is going on now at the Yuma Fairgrounds.
This is our second show in Yuma, and the selection and savings are bigger than ever.
You'll find incredible savings on new and used RVs, plus special markdowns on repos and buybacks.
Everything from affordable towables to luxury Class A diesel pushers.
This is one of the world's largest traveling RV sales, and no reasonable offers refused.
Don't miss the Great American RV Roadshow Super Sale.
Now through Sunday at the Yuma County Fairgrounds. Presented by RV Country.
Crime is already skyrocketing in 2026. Now, you may already own a firearm, but before you face the financial, the legal, the emotional weight of pulling that trigger, there is new technology, a smarter option. It's non-lethal. BYRNA.com. Berta makes less lethal launchers. It fires tear gas, pepper spray, kinetic rounds. It is designed to stop an attacker for up to 40 minutes. That gives you time to escape. That gives you time to get help without deadly consequences. Now remember, it fires at 400 feet per second, and it has serious stopping power, enough to shut down a threat very fast without the legal, moral complexity of using lethal force. And every single launcher hand assembled in beautiful Fort Wayne, Indiana. Legal in all 50 states, no background check, and they'll ship it straight to your door. Just go to BYRNA.com today and find the right launcher for you and your family. That's BYRNA.com.
There's a man in D.C. He stands 6'3". He's fighting for you.
AM 560. You, Russ Clark with you, and we have Chris here.
I'm here. A little bit.
And Ted called me on my break. I don't get any breaks. I go to a commercial for a minute, and Ted calls, so I got to answer.
You don't got it.
I don't even get a break. I should get. I don't know. Is there some rule if I work 4 hours, I get a break?
I think.
When does that happen?
Yeah, you're supposed to get like 10 minutes.
No, I'm going to go to dead air for 15.
I think you need 7 hours.
7 hours.
To
There you go. Edward sent me some stuff about minimum wage, because you had mentioned minimum wage is 7.25, which is true. But then he said it's 18 or 1630. Portland Metro is 1505, 1405 in non-urban counties. Rhode Island, $16. South Dakota, $11.85. Vermont, $14.42.
Wow, they're all over.
Virginia, $12.77. Washington, $17.13. West Virginia, $8.75. District of Columbia, $17.95.
Right.
Washington, D.C. scheduled to increase to $18.40 on July 1st.
Oh, wow.
Over half the businesses in D.C. are asking for waivers, as $18.40 would break them.
Yeah.
Shoot, man. They're already at 17, 18. It's just.
Well, 17.95 is almost 18.
Well, no, it's 17.15 or 13.
No, D.C. is 17.95.
Epstein flight logs. Trump is listed as passenger 8 times between 93 and 97. ABC notes that most of these flights were Palm Beach, Florida, which were, I knew he hit you right. I didn't know it was 8 times. I know Clinton's listed like 26 officially, but Trump swears Clinton was on that island 28 times. I don't know how he knows that.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if
I
that's.
saw him there.
Yeah, that would be a mistake to say that. Just so you know, that would not be a good thing to say. I'm out of time. I'm going to be back tomorrow.
I'll be back next week.
Yeah, you will be. AM 560 KBRU.